Chapter 1666. Intuition. F***CK. So it was just intuition. However, Longao did not doubt it at all. Since the three Nirvana divine beasts could release the forbidden power together, he believed that the three Nirvana divine beasts would not give up this opportunity. As long as he could control the Dragon Valley, the initiative would fall into the hands of the three Nirvana divine beasts. At that time, he would be in a very passive position. If that was the case, the three Nirvana divine beasts would ask for Genling's primordial spirit. Could he not give it to them? He could not give it to them, but he could not ignore the life and death of the Dragon Valley. He had to rush back to the Dragon Valley as soon as possible. As for the three Nirvana divine beasts, they were really shameless. They really thought that he was easy to bully. Since that was the case, don't blame him for being heartless. Unless it was a last resort, Longao was unwilling to fight to the death with the three Nirvana divine beasts. After all, his main enemies were the Martial Artists Alliance, the Wan Shou sect, and the Long family. However, the three Nirvana divine beasts were so overbearing. If he did not show them some face, they would really think that he was a pushover. Longao had already made up his mind. After resolving the crisis of the Dragon Valley, he would visit the three Nirvana divine beasts one by one. Even if he did not destroy the three Nirvana divine beasts, he had to tell the three Nirvana divine beasts that if they wanted to fight with him, they would have to see if it was possible. The situation was extremely urgent. Longao was very clear about his speed. Even if he kept teleporting, he would not be able to return to the Dragon Valley in a few hours. Since the beginning of the chaos, the Dragon Valley had destroyed all teleportation formations. In other words, whether it was the people of the Qianwu continent or the Jiuzhou continent, if they wanted to go back and forth, they could only rely on their feet or flying. It was already impossible to rely on teleportation formations. Longao would definitely not allow teleportation formations to appear in the Jiuzhou continent. The only way was to use the spacetime wheel. If it was in the past, he would have to consider whether or not to use the spacetime wheel. After all, the backlash from the spacetime wheel was too strong. Longao knew that good luck would not come every time. As the saying goes, how could one's shoes not get wet? If he was unlucky, he would not even have the chance to regret. His cultivation had already broken through to the union of heaven and man. Longao was also prepared to give it a try. He wanted to see if he would suffer a backlash from using the spacetime wheel. If there was no backlash, it would be much more convenient for him in the future. The spacetime wheel was even more useful than teleportation. After taking out the spacetime wheel, Longao felt helpless. The divine weapon in his hand was basically a half-damaged item. If the spacetime wheel had been at its peak, it was obvious how powerful it would have been. Get ready to start. The crisis in the Dragon Valley could not be delayed any longer. He had to get back to the Dragon Valley as quickly as possible. Just as Longao was about to use the spacetime wheel, Bai Ling's figure suddenly appeared. Bai Ling, what's the matter? Longao knew very well that at this time, Bai Ling would not disturb him if there was nothing important. He nodded. Bai Ling's face was filled with worry. Brother Long, you have to think carefully. The three Nirvana mythical beasts have already reached the Nirvana realm. How are you going to deal with them if they join forces? Bai Ling and Xiling had not recovered yet. There was no way they could fight against the three Nirvana mythical beasts. Longao had already thought about what Bai Ling said. Even so, was he not going to go back? The Dragon Valley was his home. His family, lovers, brothers, and friends were in the Dragon Valley. Even if he had to die, he would not let anything happen to them. Bai Ling, I have to go back. Brother Long, I don't mean to persuade you. I just want to tell you that you are not strong enough to fight against the three Nirvana mythical beasts. However, I have a way. What way? Hearing that Bai Ling had a way, Longao was overjoyed. It would be best if he could take advantage of this opportunity to get rid of the three Nirvana mythical beasts. Originally, Longao did not want to argue with Liu Yi because of Aoshue. However, it seemed that no matter how he backed down, Liu Yi would not stop. If this went on, who knew what would happen in the future? In this case, he could only eliminate the source of the problem. As for Aoshue, Longao had already thought about it. Even if it made Aoshue unhappy, Liu Yi must be eliminated. Brother Long, I am going to use my power. I believe that even the 3 Nirvana mythical beasts will not be able to escape. Bai Ling was the real Starry Sky Domain King. Once she used her real body's power, it would be more than enough to kill the 3 Nirvana mythical beasts. Before Longao could speak. No, Bai Ling, do you want to die? Xiling's figure appeared. His face was very ugly as he stared at his sister in front of him. Xiling, what is going on? Longao, I believe that you have already guessed that my sister and I were seriously injured back then. If it were not for the last of our primordial spirits, I am afraid that we would have disappeared. Until now, my sister and I have not recovered. If we use our power at this time, there will only be one result. What result? Longao asked impatiently. If Bai Ling's life was used to help him, he would not choose to accept it no matter what. Completely dead. There will not even be a chance for reincarnation. After hearing Xiling's words, Longao was shocked. Without giving Bai Ling any chance to speak, Longao said, Bai Ling, if anything happens to you, I will not be at ease for the rest of my life. Don't mention this again. Sister, Brother Long will go back this time. Alright, I have already thought about it. If we don't deal with the 3 Nirvana mythical beasts, the Dragon Valley will always be a problem. Longao, I have already thought about it. Relying on your strength alone, even with the help of the reincarnation doppelganger, won't work. Unless what? Longao knew Xiling's character very well. If there was no other way, Xiling would not have done this. The crisis in the Dragon Valley was different from the battle at Phoenix Peak. At Phoenix Peak, he could choose to leave at any time, but this time, he could not leave. If he chose to leave, the 3 Nirvana mythical beasts would attack the Dragon Valley. What should he do? It could be said that this return to the Dragon Valley was a narrow escape. If he was not careful, he would be doomed eternally. He had to go back. Longao, I believe you have already guessed that the reincarnation sword in your hand is a Starry Sky divine weapon. I have a way to let you use the reincarnation sword to release the forbidden power. However, it can only last for 3 minutes at most, and it can only be used once. Longao was overjoyed in his heart. He knew clearly what the taboo power meant. If he could release the taboo power with the help of the reincarnation sword, it wouldn't be impossible to kill the 3 Nirvana divine beasts. In order to ensure the safety of the Dragon Valley in the future, the 3 Nirvana mythical beasts must die. Xiling, what should I do? Back then, we took it seriously and kept a portion of our power. Chapter 1667. Violet Spirit took out a stone from her bosom. Violet Spirit, you mean to say that as long as I borrow the power of this stone, I can maintain it for 3 minutes and release the forbidden power? That's right. He held the stone tightly in his hand. This time, he could not fail. Longao poured the energy in his body into the space-time wheel. There was a flash of light. Before Longao could react, his body had already disappeared from the spot. Jojo Continent. Outside the Dragon Valley. Since the battle at Phoenix Peak, the Dragon Valley had been completely sealed. No matter who it was, they could only enter and not leave. Everyone was working hard to cultivate and break through as soon as possible. At this moment, 3 figures suddenly appeared outside the Dragon Valley. They were none other than the 3 clan leaders of the 3 divine beast clans. They were the primordial Chelene, the primordial divine dragon, and Liu Yi. We can only succeed this time. Once we take control of the Dragon Valley, we must seal off the news and not let anyone know about this. Both the primordial divine dragon and Liu Yi nodded in agreement. The 3 of them knew very well that this matter could not be leaked. Otherwise, even if they could get Genling's primordial spirit, they would have endless trouble in the future. In that case, let's do it. The 3 Nirvana divine beasts stared at the valley in front of them. It was hard to imagine that even the ancestor of all beasts and more than 20 people could not break the protective air shield here. The forbidden air shield. If the 3 of them did not release the forbidden energy together, It would be impossible to break the seal of the Dragon Valley. Let's do it. The three Nirvana divine beasts suddenly burst out with a shocking power. The three forces entangled and merged in an instant. The forbidden energy. The forbidden energy that only starry sky cultivators could use had appeared at this time. If others knew about it, they would be scared to death. It was well known that only starry sky cultivators could release the forbidden energy. The forbidden energy was the most powerful force in the world and could destroy the world. The three Nirvana divine beasts were very confident that the forbidden energy released by the three of them could break the air shield in front of them. But the result? The forbidden energy bombarded the valley like a stone sinking into the sea. It was like attacking cotton. Seeing that the valley was completely unscathed, the three of them were dumbfounded and almost couldn't believe their eyes. Even their taboo power couldn't break through the energy shield. Other than Master God Diviner and the Tao of Heaven, who else could possibly break through the valley's energy shield? Liu Yi, seeing that you are Aoshua's grandfather, I didn't want to pursue the matter from before. Who knew that you didn't know what's good for you and repeatedly went against me? If I don't get rid of the three of you today, I'm afraid there will be endless trouble in the future. Hearing the voice that came from heaven and earth, the three of them were dumbfounded again. Right at this moment. Suddenly, there was a strong tremor in the air. The space was forcefully sliced apart. Just like that, Longao took a step forward and stood firmly in front of the valley, in other words, in front of the three Nirvana divine beasts. Longao, the primordial Chelin, the primordial divine dragon, and Liu Yi were all a little dumbfounded when they saw Longao suddenly appear in front of them. They had no idea why Longao would suddenly appear here. No one knew that the three of them had joined forces to deal with the Dragon Valley. If that was the case, why would Longao appear? Moreover, after the battle at Phoenix Peak, Longao was already seriously injured. It was impossible for him to rush here in such a short time. The three of you, aren't you a little too shameless? Glaring at Longao in front of them, the three of them suddenly burst into laughter. Their laughter was filled with endless contempt and mockery. From the beginning to the end, the three of them didn't take Longao seriously. If Longao was strong enough to fight at Phoenix Peak, why would he have to escape? How could a puny Longao resist the three of them when they joined forces? Forget about joining hands, even if any one of them casually came out, they could easily destroy Longao. The three of them laughed. Longao's sudden appearance was a good thing. If they could get Genling's primordial spirit here and kill Longao, the three of them could leave without anyone knowing. In a few years, they could reach the starry sky realm. How could Longao not know what the three of them were thinking? The three of them were shameless. If such people continued to stay in the world, they would only become trouble for him. Longao didn't want to talk nonsense. He took out the stone from his arms and directly swallowed it. The Samsara sword also appeared in his hand. Longao, you want to fight? Seeing that Longao was ready to attack, the three of them almost laughed out loud. They had seen arrogant people, but they had never seen such an arrogant person. The three of them were full of confidence in their strength. Without saying anything, the Samsara sword in Longao's hand suddenly surged with a terrifying power. Longao didn't hesitate at all. He directly operated the Samsara sword skill because he only had 3 minutes. Once the time was up, he would be a fish on the chopping board, at the mercy of others. Forbidden power. Sensing that the power released by the sword in Longao's hand was the forbidden power, the three Nirvana divine beasts were immediately stunned. They knew better than anyone else what the forbidden power meant. Could it be that Longao had been hiding his strength? Could Longao be a starry sky expert? Impossible. As soon as this idea popped up, the three of them directly denied it. They were almost certain that if Longao was really a so-called starry sky cultivator, he didn't need to hide at all. He would run away every time. If Longao was really a starry sky cultivator, who could resist Longao except the marvelous mathematician and Tian Dao? The three Nirvana divine beasts didn't dare to hesitate at all. They wanted to end the battle quickly, because the longer they delayed, the more disadvantageous it would be for them. If others knew about it, Even if the three of them got Genling's primordial spirit, they would be in great trouble. The three of them joined forces and directly released the forbidden power. Whether it was Longao, the primordial Kylin, the primordial divine dragon, or Liu Yi, both sides knew very well that their realms were no longer important. The most important thing was the forbidden power. Now, they were also competing for the forbidden power. Whoever had the most powerful forbidden power would be the final winner. Because neither of them was a starry sky cultivator, strictly speaking, the forbidden power released by the three of them should be the most powerful. After all, Longao could only release the forbidden power with the help of the Samsara sword. But was the result really so? The Samsara sword was a powerful treasure of the Samsara clan. With the injection of a powerful force, the forbidden power released by the Samsara sword was far more powerful than the forbidden power released by the three of them. Chapter 1668. The forbidden power collided with each other. It wasn't as earth-shattering as he had imagined, nor was it as destructive as he had imagined. It was as if nothing had happened. The three Nirvana divine beasts kept retreating and were instantly shrouded by the forbidden power. They looked at the young man opposite them in horror. Until this moment, the three still couldn't figure out how Longao could release the forbidden power. Was it because of the divine sword in Longao's hand? There was no other possibility. In an instant, the three's faces were full of greed. They couldn't wait to get the divine sword in Longao's hand immediately. In this way, the three of them could release the forbidden power alone without joining forces. If they could get the divine sword, wouldn't they be invincible under the starry sky? Thinking of this, the greed on their faces became heavier and heavier. Holding the Samsara sword. There had never been a moment when the Samsara sword was so powerful. The real Samsara taboo. Longao was very reluctant to part with this power because he knew very well that if he wanted to have the Samsara taboo power, he had to break through the Starry Sky realm. The Starry Sky realm was easier said than done. He only had 3 minutes. There was no time to waste. Longao suddenly came to his senses and gathered all his power into the Samsara sword in his hand. The forbidden power shot out again. The terrifying Samsara taboo directly shrouded the two. Forbidden domain. Feeling the forbidden domain shrouding them, the three were completely dumbfounded. The three Nirvana divine beasts were very clear about the power of the Starry Sky cultivators. In the Starry Sky realm, the cultivators were divided into Level 1 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 2 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 3 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 4 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 5 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 6 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 7 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 8 Starry Sky cultivators, Level 9 Starry Sky cultivators. Further up, it was the Starry Sky Domain Lord and Starry Sky Domain Emperor. From Level 1 to Level 6 Starry Sky Cultivator, they all had the forbidden power. It was a competition of whose forbidden power was more powerful. Once the cultivation broke through Level 7 Starry Sky Realm, one could have a glimpse of the forbidden domain. The forbidden domain was a domain formed by the forbidden power. In the forbidden domain, one was the master. To completely master the power of the forbidden domain, one had to break through Level 8 Starry Sky Cultivator. As for Level 9 Starry Sky Cultivators, they could suppress the forbidden domain and even destroy it. Longao could release the forbidden domain. The three of them were dumbfounded. That was because the three of them knew very well just how great the difference between taboo energy and taboo domain energy was. The two of them weren't even on the same level. The three of them were enveloped by the forbidden domain and had lost their chance to resist. As long as Longao wanted to, he could destroy the three of them at any time. This was the terror of the forbidden domain. He was overjoyed. Longao had never expected the power of the Samsara taboo domain to be so powerful. This was a rare opportunity. If he didn't eliminate the three Nirvana divine beasts now, then once they escaped, it would probably cause no end of trouble in the future. Longao, you can't kill us. You can't kill us. Boring. Longao felt a little helpless when he heard the three of them say such things. Even at death's door, he still did not know how to repent. Such a person's death was not worth pitying. Longao, the three of us. Shut up. Hearing what the primordial mystical dragon was about to say, the primordial Chileen roared. Was there something fishy? Longao didn't attack immediately because there were still 2 minutes left. The primordial mystical dragon's words just now had a hidden meaning. Primordial mystical dragon, what did you mean just now? The three of them were enveloped by the samsara taboo domain and couldn't escape at all. As long as the three of them were killed within 3 minutes, everything would be fine. Longao, cut the crap. Don't say that I didn't warn you. As long as you kill the three of us, not only you, but even the Dragon Valley will fall into eternal damnation. Bluffing. The samsara taboo domain suppressed the three of them fiercely. The three Nirvana divine beasts' bones began to crackle. They were sweating profusely and their faces were pale. In the next second, the three Nirvana divine beasts transformed into their original forms. A huge black Chileen, a huge seven-colored phoenix, and a huge black dragon. The three Nirvana divine beasts were like 3 small mountains, covering the sky and the sun. I'll give the three of you a chance now. As long as you make a blood oath, hand over your primordial spirits and submit to me, I'll let you go. After thinking about it, Longao finally decided to show mercy. No matter what, Liu Yi was Aoshua's grandfather. If he really killed Liu Yi, how could he face Aoshua in the future? Moreover, if he could really tame the three Nirvana divine beasts, it might be a good thing for him and the Dragon Valley. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, Longao, are you out of your mind? How dare you ask us to submit to you? You! Suddenly, the three Nirvana divine beasts burst into maniacal laughter. If they really chose to submit, even if they weren't killed, they would be laughed at by the world in the future. How could they survive in the future? No matter what happened, even if they were killed immediately, they couldn't choose to submit to a human, let alone submit to him. Putting aside the issue of face, he couldn't pass this test alone. He wasn't surprised at all. It would be strange if the three Nirvana divine beasts really chose to submit to him. Divine beasts had their dignity. Moreover, they were the leaders of the three supreme divine beasts. Their dignity couldn't be offended. I'll give you one last chance. Choose to submit or die. Longao didn't want to delay any longer because 3 minutes were about to pass. If the three Nirvana divine beasts insisted on not submitting, he could only choose to kill the three of them to prevent any future trouble. Longao, I advise you to give up. You're dreaming if you want us to submit. Longao, don't think that you've won just like this. I can tell you clearly that you'll regret it. Of course, the three Nirvana divine beasts weren't willing to accept this. If they were killed like this, wouldn't they fail miserably? The three Nirvana divine beasts looked at each other and saw a trace of determination in each other's eyes. The three Nirvana divine beasts didn't hesitate at all. They immediately joined hands and continued to attack, trying to break the forbidden domain of samsara released by Longao. But could the three of them succeed? If they didn't submit, they would have to be killed. Longao looked at them coldly and slashed out with the reincarnation sword in his hand. The terrifying forbidden reincarnation domain attacked the three of them crazily. There was only one outcome for the three Nirvana divine beasts, death without a burial place. Kill. Just as Longao was about to kill the three Nirvana divine beasts, thunder rumbled in the sky and a terrifying spatial crack was forcefully torn open. Chapter 1669. What had happened? Longao and the three Nirvana divine beasts raised their heads at the same time and looked at the spatial rift that had been torn open in the sky. Who was it? Longao was shocked because even Xingkuan could not tear open a spatial rift. Not to mention Nirvana realm martial artists, even Starry Sky cultivators, or even level 9 cultivators, could not do this. There was only one possibility. The Starry Sky Domain Lord or Starry Sky Domain Emperor. Could it be the Starry Sky Domain Lord or Starry Sky Domain Emperor? Unbelievable. Longao thought about it and could not think of anyone else in the Tianwu continent who had broken through to the Starry Sky Domain Lord or Starry Sky Domain Emperor. Unless it was Heimo, Shuemo, Xiling, Bailing, the dragon seal body, or the clairvoyant. Heimo was sealed in the draconic arcane realm and could not appear. Xiling and Bailing were still in the dragon seal space and could not appear. The dragon seal body had fallen and could not appear. There were only two people left, either Shuemo or the clairvoyant. Shuemo could not be. After all, Shuemo had just recovered to the Nirvana realm. He had not even recovered to the starry sky domain emperor. Could it be the clairvoyant? That was also impossible. According to Heimo, the clairvoyant and Tian Dao were not in the Tianwu continent. In that case, how could the clairvoyant appear here? In the void of the 9 heavens, thunderclouds rolled for thousands of miles. A spatial crack was forcibly torn open. No one appeared. A terrifying power descended from the sky and directly destroyed the forbidden domain of reincarnation released by Longao. He was shocked. Who was it that could destroy his forbidden reincarnation domain so easily? The identity of the person was not simple. At the very least, he should be a Starry Sky Domain Lord or Starry Sky Domain Emperor. Before Longao could react, the 3 Nirvana divine beasts had disappeared. The terrifying power disappeared in an instant, and so did the sound of thunder. Even the spatial rift was restored as if nothing had happened. What had just happened? Xiling and Bailing had already appeared. Their expressions were grave. Xiling, Bailing, can you sense where the other party is from? Bailing shook her head and said helplessly, I'm sorry, Big Brother Long. My sister and I can't sense who it is. However, we can be sure that it's not simple. It should be a Starry Sky Domain Lord or a Starry Sky Domain King. As expected. Longao had guessed that the person who'd come was definitely an expert at the Starry Sky region Lord Realm or above. Otherwise, how could they have destroyed the Samsara forbidden domain he'd released with such ease? Who was it? No matter how he thought about it, Longao still couldn't figure out who it was. Longao, don't worry. The person who came has no intention of killing you. How so? Longao was very curious. He didn't know why Xiling said that. Longao, think about it. If the person who came had the intention to kill you, with the other party's valiant strength, if he wanted to kill you, he could do it in a matter of minutes. Why didn't he attack and only save the 3 Nirvana divine beasts? Perhaps he was too shocked just now. Longao didn't think about it. Now that he thought about it, it was indeed so. With the other party's strength, if he really wanted to kill him, he wouldn't have the slightest ability to resist. He was very unwilling to accept it. It wasn't easy to get to this point. He was about to destroy the 3 Nirvana divine beasts, but the mysterious expert saved them. The 3 of them left. Things are a little troublesome. The 3 Nirvana divine beasts could release the forbidden power together. He couldn't always guard here. If he left and the 3 Nirvana divine beasts returned, how could he deal with them? Longao, this time you used the Samsara sword to suppress the 3 of them. According to my speculation, the 3 of them won't come back in a short period of time. He didn't have the slightest doubt. Longao naturally chose Xiling. If they wouldn't come back in a short period of time, he could relax. Looking at the Dragon Valley behind him, Longao didn't enter it. Instead, he chose to leave and return to the Martial Heaven continent. Since the danger had been resolved, there was no point in returning to the Dragon Valley. Since that was the case, it was better to return to the Martial Heaven continent and deal with the remaining matters. In the outer region, within the Crystal Palace, Liu Yi respectfully bowed to the God Diviner, the Primordial Chelene, and the Primordial Divine Dragon. Greetings, God Diviner. Many thanks for saving us. The 3 Nirvana divine beasts had never imagined that the person who had saved them would be the God Diviner. However, thinking about it, it made sense. Other than the God Diviner, who else on the Martial Heaven continent could break the forbidden power? I already said that you can deal with Longao, but you can't attack the Dragon Valley. Did you take my words for granted? They jumped in fright. The 3 of them said in unison, we wouldn't dare, God Diviner. In truth, it was Longao who went too far. We just, in response to Master God Diviner's cold snort, the 3 Nirvanic godlings shivered in fear. After all, the only reason they had attacked the Dragon Valley was because of their own greed. Otherwise, they wouldn't have attacked the Dragon Valley for no reason. I'll say it again. No matter what you do, you're not allowed to attack the Dragon Valley. If there's a next time, there's no need for Longao to do anything. I'll personally kill you. I'll remember your teachings. Liu Yi seemed to have thought of something. She hesitated to speak, but in the end, she asked, Master Divine Mathematician, there is one thing that I don't understand. Longao is only at the oneness of heaven and man. How can he release the power of the forbidden domain? As far as I know, only the cultivators who have broken through the 8th level of Starry Sky can release the forbidden domain at will. Even now, the 3 Nirvana divine beasts couldn't figure out how someone who was one with the world could release the forbidden power. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would have found it hard to believe. The God Diviner smiled. Longao is just borrowing external power. So that's how it was. The 3 Nirvana divine beasts didn't doubt the God Diviner's words at all. However, they were shocked to find out just what kind of external power Longao was borrowing to release the forbidden power. It was inconceivable. The 3 of you can leave. Remember, don't attack the Dragon Valley again. Yes, my lord. The 3 Nirvana divine beasts didn't dare to hesitate. They slowly left, vanishing from the Crystal Palace. Only the God Diviner remained in the Crystal Palace. Looking around, the God Diviner muttered, Longao, you've surprised me. I'm looking forward to your growth. In 3 years, when my true body returns, everything will be over. The current God Diviner was just a clone. His true body had already left the martial heaven continent and entered the starry sky. Chapter 1670. Outside the Crystal Palace. The 3 Nirvana divine beasts looked at each other and saw a trace of helplessness in each other's eyes. What should we do now? Liu Yi shrugged helplessly. The God Diviner has already appeared. If we insist on attacking Dragon Valley, we'll be going against the God Diviner. I'm sure the 2 of you know the consequences. Offending the God Diviner was like offending the Grim Reaper. The God Diviner was the strongest expert on the martial heaven continent. Brother Liu, we understand what you mean. The God Diviner only said that we can't attack Dragon Valley. He didn't think that we can't attack Longao. Attack Longao? Although Longao had used external power to release the forbidden domain, no one could be sure that Longao wouldn't continue. In front of the forbidden domain, they were nothing but trash. If the 3 of us work together, I refuse to believe that we can't obtain Genling's Yuan spirit. In an instant, the 3 of them reached a consensus. As for the primordial divine dragon, he had already obtained the core energy. But in the end, he found that the core energy Long Tian had given him wasn't enough to break through to the starry sky realm. Since he didn't want to, he would have to think of a way himself. From start to finish, the primordial divine dragon didn't reveal Long Tian and Tongzun's secret. The primordial divine dragon could imagine that once the secret was revealed, no matter how powerful Tongzun and Long Tian were, they would be in endless trouble. The allure of the core energy was equivalent to Genling's Yuan spirit. Origin energy or the sword spirit primordial spirit. If one had to choose between the 2, he believed that everyone would choose the origin energy without hesitation and not the sword spirit primordial spirit. No one knew about the battle between the 3 Nirvana divine beasts and Longao. As for the God Diviner rescuing the 3 of them, no one knew. Even Longao didn't know. Until now, Longao's mind was still thinking about who it was that had suddenly saved the 3 of them. A friend. An enemy. After smoothly returning to the martial heaven continent, Longao continued to operate in secret. If he chose to reveal himself, it would be very troublesome. Liu Li, Yun Luoshan, and Yun Feng were very efficient. Under the leadership of the 3 Nirvana realm warriors, the dragon sect developed very quickly. Especially the 500,000 corpse slaves, they could practically sweep through everything. 1 against 100. The corpse demon's strength was there for all to see. Especially the corpse demon's defensive power, it was even more abnormally powerful. Many people already knew about corpse demons. It was precisely because of Longao that he led an army of over 1 million corpse demons to sweep through the entire 9 provinces. If it had been any other time, he believed that many would have chosen to deal with the dragon sect. Only now. During times of turmoil, one could barely fend for oneself. As long as one did not take the initiative to provoke others, no one would be willing to provoke another big problem. Everyone was only looking for Longao, not the dragon sect. Sword sect. In the main hall, Sword sect Master Emperor Ken, Murong Guanar, Great Elder Yi Xian, and Ancestor Jian Tian. The current Emperor Ken, after devouring the sword demon's primordial spirit, had successfully broken through to the Nirvana realm. Although his strength was far from Jian Tian's, it was very close. With Murong Guanar's talent and potential, it would not be long before his strength could catch up to Jian Tian's. Brother Long, I'm relieved to see that you're fine. Regardless of whether the sword sect was sincere or not, Longao was very touched. This was because the sword sect had resolutely chosen to stand on his side during the battle at Phoenix Peak. This was the risk of becoming the enemy of the world. Thank you, Murong Master, for your concern. I'm fine. Sitting at the side, Longao smiled and said, Senior Jian Tian, thank you for your help this time. I, Longao, will never forget this kindness. Thank you. You're welcome. Jian Tian continued helplessly, Longao, forgive me for being blunt. Genling's primordial spirit in your hands will bring you endless trouble. Longao knew very well what Jian Tian was trying to say. Senior Jian Tian, Bai Ling is my wife. No matter who wants to take my wife away, I will fight with my life. Fight with his life. These simple words were enough to express Longao's attitude. Whether it was Jian Tian, Murong Guanar, or Yi Xian, it would be a lie if they said that they did not want Genling's primordial spirit in Longao's body. However, Jian Tian and Murong Guanar were very smart. They bet that Longao would definitely win. After all, they would not lose anything even if Longao lost. Once Longao won, they could make another friend. Longao, I will do my best to help you, but please forgive me. Right now, the continent is in turmoil, and my sword sect is surrounded by enemies. There are enemies everywhere, and it's very difficult for me to help the dragon sect. The dragon sect's rise was no secret on the continent. With the sword sect's power, how could they not have heard of it? He wasn't the slightest bit angry. The sword sect was already doing this. Many thanks, Senior. I will rely on my own 2 hands to bring the dragon sect to the continent. As for the sword sect's troubles, if you don't mind, I can help the sword sect. That's great. He was pleasantly surprised. Although Longao and the dragon sect's strength was not great, Longao could bring them pleasant surprises every time. If they had Longao's help, it would undoubtedly be the best for the current sword sect. Senior, I trust you already know that the God Diviner and the Heavenly Daos have already left the continent. For the next 3 years, no one will be able to disturb the balance of power. Under such circumstances, just how many of the 10 directions will be left standing after 3 years? The 3 of them didn't say anything. They just looked at Longao, not knowing what Longao was thinking. As for the news that the God Diviner and the Heavenly Daos were no longer on the continent, they already knew. Otherwise, the balance of power wouldn't be so unstable. It was precisely under such circumstances that many sects wanted a share of the pie. Under such circumstances, it was unknown who would have the last laugh. I only hope that in 3 years, not only will the sword sect have a place, but my dragon sect will also have a place. We can help each other. What do you think, Senior? That would be the best. That's exactly what I was thinking. Jian Tian was pleasantly surprised. He hadn't thought about taking away Genling's Yuan spirit from Longao. If it was that easy, he trusted that Genling's Yuan spirit would have long since been taken away. Why would they wait until now? From this, it could be seen that Longao truly wasn't simple. For his wife, he dared to go against the entire world. Just that courage alone was enough for him to look down on the world. Longao, since the words have already reached this point, then I won't be polite. I believe that our biggest enemy is the same. Let's form an alliance in the next period of time and face the outside world together. What do you think? I don't have any problems with that. As for the matter of an alliance, I think it'll be just the two of us. P.S. I'll send you 8 chapters first. I hope that all the brothers who have votes will vote for Longao. Xiaoju thanks. Chapter 1671. I don't have any objections. In less than an hour, the two of them had already decided on the alliance. According to Longao and Jian Tian, the alliance could not be leaked. Otherwise, many sects would point their spears at them. Jian Tian and Yi Xian left one after the other. There were only 2 people left in the hall. One was Longao, and the other was Murong Guanar. He let out a deep sigh. Uncle Murong, why did you sigh? The word uncle represented Longao's intention. Not to mention that Murong Guanar had helped him several times, just because of his relationship with Murong Yanga, it was natural for him to call him uncle. Longao, I hope you can go and see Yang Murong Yanga? Longao was very curious. He did not know why Murong Guanar suddenly mentioned Yang Uncle Murong, what happened to Yang Longao felt very guilty towards this girl who was interested in him. However, he had no choice. There were some things that he had to be ruthless about. Otherwise, he would only harm Yang Yang go and see for yourself. In a very beautiful courtyard at the back of the mountain of the sword sect. Murong Yang sat alone in the courtyard. She looked very lonely and gave off a very sad feeling. Didn't I say that no matter who it is, don't come and disturb me? Get out. Yang are you okay? Hearing the voice behind her, Murong Yang was instantly stunned. She even began to tremble slightly. She slowly turned around. It was indeed him. Looking at the young man who suddenly appeared in front of her, Murong Yang tried her best not to cry. Murong Yang was helpless towards this man who she had been thinking about day and night. I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine too. For a moment, the two of them didn't know what to say. They just stood there quietly, looking at each other. After an unknown period of time. Brother Long, please take a seat. Longao finally knew why Murong Guanar had asked him to come here. Murong Yang looked a lot more haggard, and all of this was undoubtedly because of him. Even so, could he accept it? He couldn't. Longao knew very well that once he accepted Murong Guanar's love, not only would it not be good for Murong Yang, but it would also harm her. This was because he had never liked Murong Yang. Until now, he had only truly loved 3 women, Yu Yin, Aoshue, and Bai Ling. Other than them, there was no one else. Yang, I'm not worth it. Hearing this, Murong Yang's body trembled slightly again. Forcing a smile, Murong Yang said bitterly, whether you like me or not, I still like you. Brother Long, could it be that you want to deprive me of this too? Speechless by Murong Yang's question, Longao didn't know how to answer. Just as Murong Yang had said, he had no right to deprive her of her right to like others. He sighed deeply in his heart. Yang, why do you have to do this? Brother Long, let's not talk about this anymore. I've already heard about what happened to you, especially the battle at Phoenix Peak. I was really worried about you. Seeing that you're fine, I'm relieved. Longao couldn't wait to leave immediately. Because facing Yang, the guilt in his heart grew stronger and stronger. One was Murong Yang, the other was Long Jing. These 2 girls, Longao had a deep sense of guilt. Yang, I still have some matters to attend to. I'll take my leave first. In a very sorry state and with a deep sense of guilt, Longao hurriedly got up and left. He didn't even wait for Yang to finish speaking. Looking at the figure that had already disappeared, especially that sorry state, Murong Yang first laughed, then burst into tears. Because she knew that no matter what, she believed that Brother Long would never accept her. Yang, you clearly know that this relationship won't end well. Why do you have to do this? You'll only make yourself sad. Father, I really like him. Looking at her father who had suddenly appeared, Murong Yang couldn't hold back anymore and started crying. Her heart ached. Which parent in the world didn't want their children to be happy? But when it came to matters of the heart, she couldn't do anything about it. If it was an ordinary person, perhaps Muronguenar could use his strength to deal with them. Only Longao, could he do it? It was simply impossible. Her daughter liked such a woman. She didn't know whether to be sad or helpless. Murong Feng sighed deeply. Other than helplessness, he felt even more helpless. Originally, Longao's original intention was to stay in the Sword Sect for a period of time and have a good discussion about the sect alliance. But now, Longao didn't want to stay for a moment longer. He was very afraid because it was still the same sentence. He really didn't want to hurt a kind girl. Muronguenar and Jian Tian didn't urge Longao to stay. The two already knew about the matter between Yang and Longao. As the saying goes, the falling flower has feelings, but the flowing water is heartless. Longao's departure was actually a good thing. Otherwise, it would make Yang sad in vain. Looking at the gradually disappearing figure, Muronguenar said helplessly, Longao is a variable that even I can't understand. Old ancestor, is it right or wrong for us to do this? Of course, Jian Tian knew what Muronguenar meant. This is a gamble. We bet that Longao will win in the end. During the sect battle, the divine mathematician suddenly appeared and sided with Longao in front of everyone. At that time, I had already chosen to bet on Longao's victory. This gamble was a little too big because if they lost, not only them, but also the entire sword sect would lose. Old ancestor, what should we do next? Muronguenar was very clear that since he had already made his choice, he couldn't change his mind. Otherwise, the unlucky ones would be them. Jian Tian smiled and said, 3 years of turmoil. We have plenty of time. Now, give the order to secretly help the dragon sect. Remember, don't let others find out. Help the dragon sect in secret and remove all obstacles. Old ancestor, I know what to do. He didn't dare hesitate. Although 3 years of turmoil was a long time, the dragon sect was still very weak. They had to help the dragon sect rise in the shortest time possible. That way, the dragon sect and Sword Sky Alliance would be able to display their greatest strength. After Muronguenar left, Jian Tian's face revealed a trace of confusion, but even more helplessness. He muttered to himself, Longao, I hope you don't disappoint me. Otherwise, not just you, but even I will be consigned to eternal damnation. We can only win this battle. P.S. Here's the 9th chapter. I hope everyone votes and tips. Little 9 won't mind. Chapter 1672. Longao had just left the sword sect. His expression changed. Not daring to have the slightest hesitation, Longao used his fastest speed to find a desolate mountain ridge and immediately sat down cross-legged. His soul entered his dantian, his expression grave. For some unknown reason, the primal chaos stone tablet had suddenly begun to attack his dantian. Originally, the 5 elements primal chaos stone tablet had devoured the primal chaos stone tablet. They had merged for no reason. One was the 5 elements primal chaos stone tablet, while the other was devouring the primal chaos stone tablet. Under normal circumstances, the 2 primal chaos stone tablets shouldn't have merged. As for what was going on, Longao didn't know. He hoped it was fine. There were a total of 12 primal chaos stone tablets in the world. Each one was an incomparably powerful existence. Let alone 2 primal chaos stone tablets at the same time, even one of them was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. The merged primal chaos stone tablet was crazily attacking his dantian. He was forcefully suppressing it. The only thing he could do now was to forcefully suppress it. Otherwise, if it continued like this, the consequences would be unimaginable. His energy crazily poured into his dantian, beginning to forcefully suppress the primal chaos stone tablet. After a full hour, Longao was just barely able to suppress the primal chaos stone tablet. However, if this continued, who knew when the primal chaos stone tablet would go crazy? It would always be a hidden danger. Within the dragon seal space. Longao, I finally guessed why the martial heaven continent opened, and why countless cultivators from the starry sky poured in. Furthermore, There were even starry sky rulers and starry sky emperors. Why? Longao was no fool. Xiling hadn't guessed earlier or later, but now? Was it related to the primal chaos stone tablets? As expected. Do you know where the 2 primal chaos stone tablets in your body came from? I know a little. His intuition told Longao that things weren't so simple. Longao, the 12 primal chaos stone tablets have a great origin. Furthermore, they don't belong to the martial heaven continent, but the vast starry sky. He wasn't the slightest bit surprised, because Longao had already guessed it. How could such a powerful artifact appear in a small, low-level plane? I never would have guessed that you would be able to fuse with 2 chaos stone steelies. Whether it's good or bad will depend on your own good fortune. The only thing I'm curious about is that if Master God Diviner knows you have the 2 chaos stone steelies, why hasn't he tried to take them? The heavenly Tao definitely did not know. But Master Godly Mathematician definitely knew. Longao was also suspicious. The Chaos Tablet was so powerful that there was no way Master God Diviner wouldn't try to steal it. It seemed there was something fishy going on. Longao, you have to be careful. You have to fuse with the Primal Chaos Tablets as fast as you can. The 5 Elements Primal Chaos Tablets. Devour the Primal Chaos Tablets. If nothing unexpected happened, those 2 have already died. Xiling, who are they? It was simple and blurred. Longao didn't hesitate. After all, he still had no idea what Master God Diviner was going to do. He would deal with all changes by sticking to the status quo. Longao, in the vast starry sky, the 12 primal chaos tablets are considered the most powerful divine items in the starry sky. Those who possess the primal chaos tablets are all peerless experts. Now that the 5 Elements Primal Chaos Tablet and the Devouring Primal Chaos Tablet have appeared in the Martial Heaven continent, it seems the experts who possess them have already died. His analysis was correct. If that was the case, then Xiling's guess was correct. Xiling, who do you mean to say that those 2 Primal Chaos Tablets were most likely killed by Master God Diviner? That was the only explanation. Otherwise, why would the 5 Elements Primal Chaos Tablet and the Devour Primal Chaos Tablet appear in the Martial Heaven continent? Xiling shook his head. Although Master God Diviner is powerful, compared to those 12, he's still lacking. It seems the Martial Heaven continent's secret isn't so simple. Longao, there's no need for you to worry about this. Right now, the most important thing is to increase your strength as quickly as possible. In 3 years, everything will be revealed. Xiling nodded in agreement. Longao, as for merging the 2 primal chaos tablets, you have to be careful. Such a thing has never happened before. However, I'm certain of one thing. As long as you can completely merge the 2 primal chaos tablets, you will become an overlord of the starry sky in the future. Longao didn't continue. This matter was becoming more and more complicated. A small low-level plane actually had so many secrets. His soul returned to his dantian. Looking at the calm primal chaos tablets, Longao knew that merging the 2 primal chaos tablets wouldn't be easy. Furthermore, the 2 primal chaos tablets had already merged. It was truly troublesome. Let's give it a try. Longao poured all the power in his body into his dantian and began to refine the primal chaos stone tablet. However, he failed in the end. Longao knew very well that if he wanted to completely refine the primal chaos stone tablet, he would first have to wait until his cultivation broke through the starry sky realm. He was very depressed. Every so often, the primal chaos tablets would cause trouble. At this time, he could still rely on his energy to suppress them. If he couldn't suppress them, the consequences would be unimaginable. Just thinking about it made him shiver. The current Martial Heaven continent could only be described with one word: chaos. There were saber-light and sword images everywhere. Corpses were strewn everywhere. Due to the 10-direction cauldron's participation, the war on the Martial Heaven continent had reached its peak. In just a few days, the various large sects had suffered heavy losses. As for 3 years from now, no matter who was destroyed or who rose up, the Martial Heaven continent's power would definitely weaken. Many people couldn't understand why the god diviner would suddenly choose to do this. If you don't kill me, I'll kill you. Many people wanted to stay out of it and watch the fight from the other side of the river, so that they could reap the benefits of the fishermen. But under such circumstances, was it possible? There was no way. The 10-direction cauldron, the Long family, the Pill Alliance, the Martial Artists Alliance, the Myriad Beast sect, the Heaven and Earth sect, the Five Elements sect, the Wanjan school, the Sword sect, the Violet Thunder sect, and the Profound Heaven sect. Of these, the Profound Heaven sect was the weakest. As for Longao, he had set his target on the Profound Heaven sect. Previously, when the Profound Heaven sect had attacked the Dragon Valley, Longao had chosen to compromise for the time being. But that didn't mean he would let it go. Now was a golden opportunity to deal with the Profound Heaven sect. Longao wouldn't be so foolish as to take such a risk alone. In any case, he had already formed an alliance with the Sword sect. As for now, there were already people targeting the Profound Heaven sect. And that sect was none other than the Myriad Beast sect. That made the Profound Heaven sect very depressed. The Profound Heaven sect had been trying to curry favor with the three superpowers. That was why they had chosen to target the Dragon Valley. The Myriad Beasts sect's power far surpassed the Profound Heaven sect. Furthermore, the other sects had turned a blind eye to the Myriad Beasts sect targeting the Profound Heaven sect. They didn't want to interfere in the enmity between the Myriad Beasts sect and the Profound Heaven sect. Author's note: I woke up late. Here's the 10th chapter. I hope everyone continues to vote. Little 9, continue to work hard. Chapter 1673. The WAN Show sect would definitely suppress the Black Heaven sect. In just a few days, the Black Heaven sect had suffered heavy losses. If this continued, the Black Heaven sect would not be far from destruction. The Purple Thunder sect and the Black Heaven sect were relatively weaker compared to the other sects. Especially the Black Heaven sect, which was at the bottom. Before Longao could make a move. The news shocked the entire Tianwu continent. The Black Heaven sect, one of the 10 sects, was completely destroyed. Not a single person was left alive, including the Black Heaven sect's old ancestor. The Black Heaven sect's old ancestor was a Nirvana rebirth powerhouse. If it was a one-on-one battle, even the WN Show sect's old ancestor might not be able to kill the Black Heaven sect's old ancestor. Unfortunately, the WN Show sect's old ancestor obviously wanted to destroy the Black Heaven sect. Not only did he personally take action, but he also teamed up with Tongzun. The two Nirvana rebirth powerhouses teamed up to deal with the Black Heaven sect's old ancestor. With the death of the Black Heaven sect and the death of the Black Heaven sect, the entire Tianwu continent was in turmoil. No one would have thought that the great balance of 10 directions would fall so quickly. The 10 sects were only left with 9 superpowers. It was precisely because of the Mystic Sky sect's example that everyone knew very well that they had to take every step carefully under such circumstances. Otherwise, if they were slightly negligent, they would follow in the footsteps of the Mystic Sky sect and fall into eternal damnation. Master, the Black Heaven sect's old ancestor is dead. The Black Heaven sect has been massacred. Liu Li and the other two were shocked. Even if the Black Heaven sect was at the bottom of the 10 sects, their strength was still there. Even if the WN Show sect and the Martial Artists Alliance teamed up, it would not be easy to destroy the Black Heaven sect. Master, the Martial Artists Alliance and the WN Show sect have teamed up. The situation is not good. Whether it was the Martial Artists Alliance or the WN Show sect, they were both Longao's death grounds. Both of them could not wait to kill Longao immediately. The three of them knew this. Not to mention the two of them teaming up, any one of them was not to be underestimated. I did not expect the Black Heaven sect to be destroyed so quickly. It seems like the WN Show sect and the Martial Artists Alliance can't wait. Master, what do you mean? He nodded. 3 years. The Myriad Beast's ancestor and Tongzun are very clear that if we can't change the current situation of the continent, no one knows what will happen after 3 years. Now that the Black Heaven sect has been destroyed, the WN Show sect and the Martial Artists Alliance are more proactive than the other sects. Master, who will the Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance deal with next? Violet Thunder Sect. Longao instantly stood up and left, rushing towards the Violet Thunder Sect at his fastest speed. Longao was almost certain that after the Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance joined hands to eliminate the Black Heaven sect, their next target would definitely be the Purple Thunder sect. It was still the same sentence. Among the 10 cardinal directions, the Violet Thunder sect and the Heavenly Mystic sect were the weakest. After the Heavenly Mystic sect, the Violet Thunder sect would be the next. If it were anyone else, Longao would definitely watch the fight from the sidelines. It would be best if both sides suffered heavy losses in the end. Only the Violet Thunder sect. Longao truly treated the Violet Thunder sect as a friend. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so impatient to rush to the Violet Thunder sect. Violet Thunder sect. The current Violet Thunder sect was definitely not having a good time. Because the 10 cardinal directions were at war, death was everywhere. Especially after the destruction of the Black Heaven sect, everyone in the Violet Thunder sect was in danger. Because everyone knew that among the 10 cardinal directions, the Heavenly Mystic sect was the weakest. Next would be the Violet Thunder sect. The Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance had joined hands to eliminate the Heavenly Mystic sect. Everyone knew that the next target of these two superpowers was the Violet Thunder sect. Ever since the Violet Thunder ancestor killed Yi Wuren, Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi had to keep the peace. Even if their hearts were filled with anger, they could only endure it. Big Brother Violet Thunder. Brother Long, why are you suddenly here? Violet Thunder, who was discussing matters in the main hall, was surprised when he saw Longao suddenly appear. But more than that, he was happy. After the battle on the Phoenix Peak, Violet Thunder was very sure that Longao would be fine. Just as he expected. Big Brother Violet Thunder, I came here this time for an important matter. I believe you already know about the destruction of the Heavenly Mystic sect. The Violet Thunder ancestor nodded. How could he not know about the destruction of the Heavenly Mystic sect? The destruction of the Heavenly Mystic sect had shocked the world. Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi didn't show the slightest bit of anger on the surface, but in their hearts, they were furious to the extreme. If it wasn't for the presence of their old ancestor, they would have already attacked. It was this person in front of them who had killed their third brother. Endure. In the end, the two of them endured because they didn't want to follow in the footsteps of their third brother. Brother Long, if you have something to say, feel free to say it. Big Brother Violet Thunder, according to my guess, the Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance have joined hands to eliminate the Heavenly Mystic sect. Their next target is the Violet Thunder sect. I hope you can make preparations early. Haha, Longao, aren't you looking down on my Violet Thunder sect a little too much? The Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance, do you really think my Violet Thunder sect is as easy to bully as the Heavenly Mystic sect? Let's see if the Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance dare to come. Yi Wudi's face was full of ridicule. Although the Violet Thunder sect wasn't the strongest among the 10 forces, the Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance wouldn't dare to make a move. After all, the Violet Thunder sect's strength was far above the Heavenly Mystic sect. Longao ignored Yi Wudi because he was very clear that although he didn't kill Yi Wuren with his own hands, Yi Wuren had died because of him. This debt would definitely be placed on his head by Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to dawdle. Looking at their faces, Longao already knew that they hated him to the bone. As long as there was a chance, they wouldn't hesitate to kill him to avenge their brother. The Purple Thunder ancestor seemed to be in a bad mood. How could he not know what they were thinking? However, at this time, they couldn't let anything happen to them. Otherwise, the Violet Thunder sect would become even more passive. He had already killed Yi Wuren, it was impossible for him to kill Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi. If he really did that, even if he was the old ancestor of the Violet Thunder sect, it would still cause the sect to be dissatisfied. Yi Tianhua hurriedly came out to smooth things over. He smiled and said, Master Dragon, I think you are thinking too much. Even if the WN Show sect and the Martial Artists Alliance join hands to destroy the Heavenly Mystic sect, it doesn't mean that we will be their next target. Master Dragon, if you want us to join hands, you can just say it directly. Yi Tianhua didn't finish his words, but the meaning of his words was very clear. He was implying that Longao was shameless. In Yi Tianhua's opinion, Longao was just trying to protect himself. He wanted to unite with his sect, but he was too embarrassed to say it directly, so he lied. Others didn't believe it, but the Purple Thunder ancestor believed every word Longao said. P.S. Little Nine is extremely depressed. If he doesn't explode, he will only get 3 chapters a day. The monthly votes and recommendation votes are still increasing, and he gets several hundred votes a day. Today he explodes 15 chapters, but until now he only has so many votes. Don't tell me brothers don't want Little Nine to explode. If that's the case, then Little Nine should try not to explode so that he can get more votes. Chapter 1674. He waved his hand. Seeing the old ancestor's displeasure, the 4 didn't say anything more. Brother Long, come with me. He ignored the 4. Longao followed Purple Thunder ancestor out of the hall. In a short while, the 2 had disappeared. Champh, a fox borrowing the tiger's might. Yi Wudi said coldly. The 3 brothers had relied on each other since childhood and had never been separated for so many years. But because of Longao, their 3rd brother was killed by the old ancestor. People were like this, bullying the weak and fearing the strong. Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi didn't dare to resent the old ancestor, so they could only blame Longao for it. 2 elders, Longao and the old ancestor's relationship is obvious. The old ancestor can kill the 3rd elder for Longao, and he can also kill anyone for Longao. I advise you not to act rashly. Master, are we just going to give up on revenge like this? They were unwilling. Whether it was Yi Wutian or Yi Wudi, their hearts were filled with endless unwillingness. Not now, but don't worry, we will definitely avenge the 3rd elder. Purple Thunder sect. Back of the mountain, in a secluded pavilion. Looking at Longao in front of him, Purple Thunder sighed deeply and said helplessly, Longao, I can't continue, please forgive me. Longao of course knew what Purple Thunder ancestor meant. He smiled and said, Big brother Zilei, I hope you won't get involved in this matter. In the future, I will settle things with the 2 of them. At that time, whether they live or I die, I hope you won't get involved in this matter. Purple Thunder seemed to want to say something, but in the end, he swallowed his words. Brother Long, in your opinion, how should we face the Martial Artists Alliance and WAN Show sect? Others didn't believe in Longao, but Purple Thunder ancestor did. Big brother Purple Thunder, if you don't mind, why don't we join hands? With my corpse slave army, the Martial Artists Alliance and WAN Show sect won't have the slightest advantage. The power of the corpse slave army was obvious. Regarding the corpse demon army that Longao possessed, Purple Thunder had long heard of it. Thank you. Before Longao could say anything, Yi Tianhua hurried over, bowed respectfully, and said anxiously, Great Ancestor, something bad has happened. The Martial Artists Alliance and the WAN Show sect have joined hands to attack us. Their attacks are too fierce, we have suffered a great loss. He finally believed it now, but it was too late. From the beginning to the end, Yi Tianhua and the other 2 didn't believe that the Martial Artists Alliance and WN Show sect would really choose the Purple Thunder sect. What did the Martial Artists Alliance and the WAN Show sect want to do? First, he destroyed the Black Sky sect. Now, he was dealing with the Violet Thunder sect. Could it be that the Martial Artists Alliance and the WN Show sect wanted to unify the mainland and divide the world equally? If it was in the past, the Martial Artists Alliance and Myriad Beasts Hall wouldn't have dared to do such a thing. Even if the Violet Thunder sect and Black Heaven sect were willing, the other sects wouldn't be willing to do so. But this time, the situation was completely different. The Martial Heaven continent was in an uproar. Everyone was minding their own business. As long as they didn't come after them, no one would look for trouble. With a gloomy face, the Purple Thunder ancestor coldly said, What a WN Show sect, What a martial artists' alliance. Do they really think that our Purple Thunder sect is a soft persimmon that they can pinch whenever they want? Big brother Purple Thunder, listen to me. Brother Long, please speak. At this time, if we choose to fight them head-on, it will be very disadvantageous for us. Yi Tianhua disagreed in his heart. Longao was just an outsider, yet he dared to give orders here. If it wasn't for the great ancestor, he would have kicked Longao out long ago. What the hell? Brother Long, I understand what you mean. Even if I'm willing to back down, I'm afraid that the two sects won't let it go. The more we back down, the more we will be in a passive position. How could Longao not understand Big Brother Purple Thunder's worries? Thinking for a moment, Longao smiled and said, Big Brother Purple Thunder, let's retreat for 3 days first. 3 days later, I will send out an army of 200,000 corpse slaves, while the Purple Thunder sect will send out 10,000. I don't believe that the Martial Artists Alliance and WN Show sect will be able to resist. An army of corpse slaves? An army of 200,000 corpse slaves? Hearing Longao's words, Yi Tianhua jumped in shock. He really couldn't understand why Longao would help the Purple Thunder sect for no reason. Could it be that Longao's relationship with the Great Ancestor was really that good? No matter what, in this situation, it was already very good that he didn't add insult to injury, not to mention sending charcoal in snowy weather. I'll listen to you. Roughly 1,000 meters away from the Purple Thunder Peak. After the WN Show sect and Martial Artists Alliance destroyed the Black Sky sect, they continued to rush to the Purple Thunder sect without stopping. They were prepared to destroy the Purple Thunder sect in one fell swoop. If that happened, who in the Tianwu continent would dare to oppose them? Brother Tong, the Purple Thunder sect's people are all holed up in the Purple Thunder Peak. I don't know what that old thing Purple Thunder is playing. The WAN Show ancestor's face was indifferent. After enduring for so many years, he wanted to take advantage of the 3 years of chaos to deal with all the troubles and dominate the continent. As for the Martial Artists Alliance, it was like asking a tiger for its skin. The WN Show ancestor had already decided that after dealing with the other troubles, his next target would be the Martial Artists Alliance. However, both of them had ulterior motives. Because Tong Zun had already devoured the origin energy, once he broke through to the Starry Sky Realm, would he still be afraid of the WN Show sect? Brother She, our speed is so fast, won't it cause the other sects to be dissatisfied? Of course not. Believe me, soon, our two sects will divide the world equally. Divide the world equally. Divide the world equally. Tong Zun sneered in his heart, but he said, Purple Thunder knows his place, he must be afraid. Think about the Black Sky sect's example. Unless Purple Thunder's brain is damaged, he won't fight us head-on. Then what should we do now? Wait and see. If we choose to attack the Purple Thunder Peak at this time, Purple Thunder will fight to the death. Even if we win in the end, I'm afraid we'll suffer heavy losses, which is very disadvantageous for us. Let's stay here and see how long Purple Thunder can last. Tong Zun agreed, but he didn't think so in his heart. No matter what he needed now was time. 3 years later, his cultivation would break through to the Starry Sky Realm. At that time, the ones who would divide the world equally would not be the WN Show sect, but the Martial Artists Alliance and the Long family. Tong Zun and Long Tian had already obtained the origin energy. As long as they didn't commit suicide, the possibility of them breaking through to the Starry Sky Realm in 3 years was very high. Otherwise, the clairvoyant master wouldn't have chosen them. Just like that. The Martial Artists Alliance and the WN Show sect stood guard outside the Purple Thunder Peak, surrounding the entire Purple Thunder sect. Not to mention a human, even an ant wouldn't be able to leave alive. The WAN Show sect and the Martial Artists Alliance's intention was very clear. This time, they wouldn't give up until the Purple Thunder sect was destroyed. Everyone in the world was waiting for a good show, to see if the Purple Thunder sect would follow in the footsteps of the Black Sky sect. P.S. Many thanks for everyone's support. This is the 12th chapter. I went out in the afternoon, so Xiao Ju went to eat first. Last 3 chapters, try to hurry up. Chapter 1675. 2 against 1. Everyone was certain that the Violet Thunder sect would definitely lose this battle. Once they lost, there would only be one outcome, and that was to be annihilated by the joint forces of the Martial Artists Alliance and Myriad Beasts sect. Time flowed by slowly. 3 days later. Within the Violet Thunder Peak, an earth-shattering roar sounded. What the hell happened? Reporting to the old ancestor, the Violet Thunder sect suddenly sent out 10,000 people to attack us. Hearing the report, both the Myriad Beasts ancestor and Honored Tong were shocked. Did the Violet Thunder sect not want to live anymore? Pass down my order, kill. The Myriad Beasts ancestor and Honored Tong didn't put the Violet Thunder sect in their eyes. In their eyes, the Violet Thunder sect was making a final struggle. After all, in the eyes of outsiders, the Violet Thunder sect was doomed. In front of the Violet Thunder Peak, there were hundreds of thousands of people from the Martial Art Alliance and the WAN Show sect. They charged forward together with great momentum. 10,000 against 100,000, the result was obvious. Such a large-scale battle was rarely seen in 10,000 years. Just as the battle was about to start, the 10,000 people from the Violet Thunder sect suddenly retreated. What was going on? Seeing the 10,000 people in front of them retreating, each of them scratched their heads in confusion, not knowing what the Violet Thunder sect was trying to do. But now that they had the upper hand, the 10,000 people didn't have the slightest fear as they pressed on. Right at this moment, a black army appeared. It was the 200,000 corpse slaves Longao brought with him this time. After Longao's hard work, he had killed 600,000 spirit beasts and refined them into corpse slaves. Other than leaving 100,000 corpse slaves for the Dragon Valley, the remaining 500,000 were all brought with him. 300,000 corpse slaves were left for Yunluotian and the other two, while Longao only brought 200,000 corpse slaves. Even so, it was enough. The 200,000 corpse slaves were like killing machines. Their eyes were red, killing one on sight, killing two on sight. The corpse slaves were known for their undying bodies. Not to mention the same level, even if they were 1 or 2 levels higher, the corpse slaves would be able to ignore them. If you hit the corpse slaves 100 times, they would be fine, but if they hit you once, you would collapse. In just a few minutes, the Myriad Beasts sect and Martial Artists Alliance had lost more than a fifth of their forces. What kind of concept was that? In just a few minutes, 20,000 of the hundreds of thousands of soldiers had already been destroyed by the corpse demon army. At this rate, it would not take more than 10 minutes for the army of 100,000 to be completely annihilated. This was the terror of the corpse demon army. This was the cruelty of the corpse demon army. Retreat. The army that received the order retreated like a receding tide, disappearing without a trace. This time around, the Violet Thunder sect didn't even lose a single soldier, yet they managed to force the Myriad Beasts sect and Martial Artists Alliance to retreat. Not only that, they left behind a total of 20,000 corpses. This battle had shaken the entire world. Was this really the result? Everyone knew that Longao was the true owner of the corpse slave army. How could the Violet Thunder sect summon an army of 200,000 corpse slaves for no reason? The only explanation was that the Violet Thunder sect had the support of Longao. The WAN Show sect and the Martial Artists Alliance were defeated, and before they could find a way to deal with the corpse slave army, neither the WAN Show sect nor the Martial Artists Alliance would act rashly. At the peak of the mountain, the WN Show ancestor and Tong Zun stood quietly. Neither of them took the initiative to speak. Brother Tong, what do you think of this matter? Tong Zun naturally understood the meaning behind the WAN Show ancestor's words. Sighing deeply, Tong Zun said helplessly, if I'm not wrong, Longao should be in the Violet Thunder sect. Seems like the relationship between the Violet Thunder ancestor and Longao is not simple, to be willing to take out such a huge corpse slave army. This time, we've failed miserably. The WN Show ancestor's heart was filled with endless rage. It's the Longao again. Every time, it's the Longao. If this Longao wasn't eliminated, it would be a huge problem. This is unbelievable. How did Longao refine an army of 200,000 corpse slaves? Moreover, All of them have undying bodies. With such an army of corpse slaves, wouldn't Longao be invincible? As the ancestor of all beasts, the WN Show ancestor was full of confidence. Except for the powerful Nirvana realm divine beasts, he could completely control and command the rest of the divine beasts. This time, the WN Show ancestor didn't mobilize the divine beast army. The reason was simple: he wanted to preserve his strength. After all, there were still many sects that had yet to be eradicated. The divine beast army was his final trump card. Unless it was a last resort, he would never use it. Even now, the WN Show ancestor still hadn't decided to mobilize the divine beast army. Brother Shi, we have to find a way to deal with the corpse slave army as soon as possible. Otherwise, if there's no accident, the Longao will definitely retaliate. At that time, whether it's your WN Show sect or my martial artists alliance, I'm afraid. Tongzun didn't continue, but his meaning was clear. Longao had such a powerful corpse slave army. Unless it was a Nirvana realm divine beasts, who else could contend against him? If the Longao brought the corpse slave army to attack the martial artists alliance or the WN Show sect, how would they deal with him? If they said they weren't afraid, they would be lying. Especially at this moment, if the Longao allied with the Sword sect, Violet Thunder sect and Five Elements sect, the consequences would be unimaginable. The WN Show ancestor's expression was extremely ugly. He didn't expect that after the battle on the Phoenix Peak, not only did the Longao not hide, he even openly supported the Violet Thunder sect. Could it be that the Longao wasn't afraid? Brother Tong, I have a way to eliminate the Longao. As long as the Longao dies, the corpse slave army would be useless. At that time, if we join forces again, eliminating the Violet Thunder sect would be a matter of minutes. Alright, we'll do as you say. Tongzun and the WN Show ancestors' method was very simple. After the battle on the Phoenix Peak, the news of Longao possessing Genling's Yuan spirit had already spread throughout the continent. Although no one was looking for Longao, as long as the Longao appeared, there would definitely be many people willing to eliminate him. Watching the fire from the other side of the river, they could reap the benefits when the time came. The news of Longao being in the Violet Thunder sect spread like wildfire. In fact, there was no need for the two of them to release the news, everyone already knew. After all, the corpse slave army had already leaked the news of Longao's whereabouts. Everyone in the surroundings began to grow restless. Not for anything else, but for the treasures on Longao's body. The most important thing was still Genling's Yuan spirit. However, what made Tongzun and the WN Show ancestor feel inconceivable was that after the news spread, no one went to the Violet Thunder sect to look for Longao. Just what had happened? That shouldn't be. Longao's allure was right there, no one could resist it. Tongzun and the WN Show ancestor couldn't understand why things would turn out like this. P.S. The 13th chapter has been delivered. Little 9, continue writing, there are only 2 chapters left. I'm really tired. Chapter 1676. How to deal with it. After thinking about it, the two of them already knew what was going on. Although Longao's allure was great, no one was willing to be the first to act. The hunter would hit the bird that pokes its head out. Everyone understood this logic. No one was a fool. The two of them wanted to kill with a borrowed knife and reap the benefits of the fisherman. How could the others not want to kill with a borrowed knife and reap the benefits of the fisherman? Brother Shi, what should we do now? Everyone could see the current situation. Longao had obviously allied with the Purple Thunder sect. If there were no accidents, the war between the two sides was inevitable. If we act now, even if we can destroy Longao, not only will we not get any benefits, we might even end up worse off. How could Tongzun not know about the 1,000 beasts old ancestors' worries? In such a situation, they could neither advance nor retreat. It could be said that they were in a dilemma. Let's compete with patience. Gritting his teeth, the 1,000 beasts old ancestor chose to retreat in the end. He didn't want to be used by others, especially the treasures and Genling's soul in Longao's body. They were too important to him. Tong Zun didn't care. Anyway, he had already devoured the origin energy. As long as he had enough time, he could smoothly break through to the starry sky realm. As for whether he could get the Genling's soul in Longao's body, Tong Zun didn't care at all. However, Longao also wanted to obtain the divine sword in Longao's hands, the time martial skill, the spatial divine artifact and so on. If he could obtain these things, he believed that his strength would rise to another level in the future. Everyone thought that the Martial Artists Alliance and Thousand Beasts sect would definitely not let it go after suffering a great loss. Next, if there were no accidents, the two superpowers would definitely find the Purple Thunder sect and Longao to settle the score. Who would live and who would die was still unknown. No matter what, it was a good thing for the others. Whether it was the destruction of the Martial Artists Alliance and Thousand Beasts sect, or the fall of Longao, they were all things that others wanted to see. The result was beyond everyone's expectations. Not only did the Martial Artists Alliance and Myriad Beasts sect not attack the Violet Thunder sect, they even retreated to their respective camps. No one knew what was going on. Would the Martial Artists Alliance and the Wan Shou sect give up? That was a little unlikely. The Myriad Beasts sect and the Martial Artists Alliance didn't make a move. The others didn't make a move as well. Just like this, everyone fought their own battles. On the contrary, the Violet Thunder sect had completely calmed down. Violet Thunder sect. In the pavilion at the back of the mountain. Traces of guilt could be seen on his face as he spoke. Brother Long, this time around, it was my Violet Thunder sect that harmed you. The Purple Thunder ancestor was very clear that with the revelation of the corpse slave army, anyone would be able to guess that Longao was definitely in the Purple Thunder sect. Putting everything else aside, just the temptation of Genling's primordial spirit was something that no one could resist. The reason why Longao did this was because of his friend. Longao laughed, his face filled with indifference. Big brother Purple Thunder, since you and I are friends, why do we need to separate like this? I only want to ask Big brother Purple Thunder, if my dragon sect is in trouble, will Big brother lend a helping hand? Actually, there was no need to ask, Longao already knew the answer. Others might not know, but the Purple Thunder ancestor had full confidence in him. If he was in trouble, he believed that the Purple Thunder ancestor wouldn't just stand by and watch. Brother Long, I understand what you mean. I was too stubborn. The two of them looked at each other and laughed. At this time, Yi Tianhua rushed over. Ever since Longao helped the Violet Thunder sect with the help of the corpse slaves, Yi Tianhua's attitude had taken a 180-degree turn. As the master of the Violet Thunder sect, no matter what he did, he would always think of the sect's benefits first. No matter what grudges Longao had with the two elders, just the fact that he helped the sect was enough. Tianhua, why are you so flustered? Purple Thunder was very clear in his heart, with Yi Tianhua's personality, unless something big happened, he wouldn't be so rash. Old ancestor, Master Long, something big has happened. Purple Thunder and Longao's hearts skipped a beat. Looking at the anxious expression on Yi Tianhua's face, the two of them could already guess that this matter wasn't simple. After all, with Yi Tianhua's strength, what could make this master so flustered? Old ancestor. Looking at Longao, Yi Tianhua wanted to say something but hesitated. He had already made his intentions clear. Longao wasn't an idiot, of course he knew what Yi Tianhua meant. Coughing twice, he quickly said, Big brother Purple Thunder, you guys go ahead, we'll talk later. The Purple Thunder ancestor waved his hand, his expression was ugly as he said, Tianhua, Brother Long is not an outsider. If there's anything you want to say it directly, there's no need to be so long-winded. Seeing the old ancestor's displeasure, Yi Tianhua didn't dare to continue hiding it. He immediately said, Old ancestor, there's a disturbance in the lightning space, and there's a crack in it. Ah! Purple Thunder's expression changed, he couldn't believe it. Big brother Purple Thunder, what happened? Longao's intuition told him that this matter wasn't simple. What was the lightning space that Yi Tianhua spoke of? Why was Big brother Purple Thunder so nervous? Brother Long, come with me. Not only Longao, even Yi Wutian, Yi Wutian, and the elders of the Purple Thunder sect were all Nirvana realm cultivators. According to the Purple Thunder ancestor, if it wasn't for the fact that it was sealed by the terrain, it wouldn't have been able to contain the lightning space. This is the lightning space. Looking at the valley in front of him, Longao didn't even need to enter. He could already feel that the lightning space in front of him was extremely terrifying. Purple lightning curled around it, accompanied by the rumbling of thunder. If an ordinary cultivator were to enter, they would be instantly killed. Old ancestor, why don't we announce to the world that if this monster escapes, the consequences will be unimaginable? Yi Wutian anxiously said. Not only Yi Wutian, but the other elders also had a gloomy expression on their faces. Monster! What kind of existence was this monster in the lightning space? How could it cause so many people to be so afraid? Shaking his head, Purple Thunder's expression was extremely resolute. No matter what, we cannot let others know about this. Otherwise, my Purple Thunder sect will be annihilated. Big Brother Purple Thunder, what exactly is sealed in the lightning space? What? Yi Wutian coldly snorted, but didn't say anything. It seemed like Yi Wutian still couldn't forget about Yi Wuren's death. However, Longao didn't care, otherwise, he wouldn't be standing here. Now that his cultivation base had successfully broken through to the realm of one with the heavens, once he joined forces with his reincarnation avatar, killing Yi Wutian would be a piece of cake. However, for the sake of Big Brother Purple Thunder, especially under such circumstances, Longao ultimately decided to endure. When this matter was resolved, it was hard to say if Longao would continue to endure. P.S. The 14th chapter has been delivered. The last chapter will be delivered soon. Chapter 1677. Brother Long, it's like this. Purple Thunder didn't hide much. This was because Longao was his friend. Otherwise, he wouldn't have told anyone else this secret. After hearing it all, Longao was also endlessly shocked. So, 10,000 years ago, Purple Thunder ancestor came into being. In just a few hundred years, he reached the Nirvana rebirth realm, relying on his strength to establish the Purple Thunder sect. Outsiders didn't know that the main reason why Purple Thunder ancestor chose the Purple Thunder Peak was because there was a monstrous divine beast sealed within. A divine beast with taboo power. What does this mean? Purple Thunder ancestor was overjoyed. He immediately spent 1,000 years to strengthen the seal. Purple Thunder ancestor was very clear that as long as he could devour this divine beast, he would be able to borrow its taboo power to break through to the starry sky realm. Imagining it was good, but actually doing it was harder than ascending to the heavens. Because Purple Thunder ancestor had entered the sky lightning space dozens of times, not only was he unable to devour the divine beast, he was almost devoured. As for the secret, everyone here, other than Longao, Yi Tianhua, and the rest had all made a blood oath. It was also because of this that this secret was never leaked. Longao was very clear that once this secret was leaked, the Purple Thunder sect would be met with countless troubles. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to describe it as a disaster. Brother Long, according to my probing, although this divine beast is heavily injured, it is still very strong. Once it breaks the seal, it will definitely seek revenge in the future. As for the world's safety, Purple Thunder didn't care at all. It was understandable. Longao understood Purple Thunder's feelings very well. After all, the divine beast sealed within the sky lightning space was a divine beast of the stars. Once it broke the seal, who knows what would happen in the future? Unless it was the divine mathematician or the heavenly Tao, no one would be a match for a divine beast of the stars. Brother Purple Thunder, what do you plan to do? Cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. Purple Thunder no longer wanted to devour the divine beast, he only wanted to destroy this monster as soon as possible. This way, he and the Purple Thunder sect could sit back and relax. Brother Purple Thunder, I'll go in with you. Okay. Longao already understood Purple Thunder's intentions. Otherwise, Purple Thunder would not have allowed him to come here. As for the others, Purple Thunder did not want any of them. If they were not strong enough, not only would they not be able to help, they might even become a hindrance. Purple Thunder Patriarch would not allow such a thing to happen. Sky Thunder Space. The two of them were very careful, and they were very alert. One step at a time. The two of them advanced cautiously, and their speed was not very fast. Even so, the two of them soon stepped into the valley, and their figures completely disappeared. Looking at the disappearing figure, Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian were overjoyed. Of course, the two of them didn't want anything to happen to the elder ancestor, but they hoped that Longao would enter and never come out again. Elders, listen to my advice. Stop the matter with Longao. Otherwise, you won't even have the chance to regret it. He disagreed. The two of them would definitely get their revenge, the kind that would not be shaken even by thunder. Clan leader, I hope you won't interfere in our affairs. If we don't get rid of Longao, we won't be able to face third brother in the underworld. Yi Tianhua seemed to want to say something, but in the end, he swallowed his words. Intuition told Yi Tianhua that even if the elder ancestor wasn't there, the two of them wouldn't be able to take revenge against Longao, and they might even lose their lives. The Violet Thunder sect had already lost a Nirvana realm cultivator. If they were to lose two more, it would undoubtedly be a great loss to the Violet Thunder sect, and they couldn't afford to lose them. However, Yi Tianhua was very clear about the two's personalities. It seemed like he had to let the two of them try. Otherwise, the two of them really didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Longao wasn't someone to be trifled with. Longao and Violet Thunder entered the Sky Thunder space. More than 10 elders stood guard outside the valley, not one of them left. Everyone was on high alert at all times, ready for any unexpected situation. Inside the valley, violet lightning swirled around. Even if Longao's cultivation base had broken through the realm of being one with the heavens, the moment he stepped into the Sky Thunder space, he was shocked to feel the lightning energy around him attacking him. Not only him, but even Purple Thunder also suffered from the fierce attacks of the surrounding lightning. Brother Long, put it on. Longao didn't dare to hesitate, he immediately put on the clothes given to him by Violet Thunder. But even so, he was still unable to withstand the violent lightning attacks. Seems like the demon-level divine beast wants to come out, and is making a final gamble. Great shock. It was hard for Longao to imagine just how powerful this sealed starry sky divine beast was. According to Violet Thunder, this space divine beast was already heavily injured 10,000 years ago. Under such a seal, it was impossible for it to recover. In fact, it might even worsen. Even so, the strength of this space divine beast was still not to be underestimated. Even without seeing its true body, just the lightning attacks in the surroundings were already so powerful. It was hard to imagine how strong the true body of this space divine beast was exactly. Now, Longao finally understood why Violet Thunder didn't allow others to enter the Sky Thunder space. According to his intention, the more people there were, the better. As the saying goes, the more people there are, the more strength there is. From the looks of it, ordinary cultivators, even ordinary Nirvana realm cultivators, would only die if they entered the Sky Thunder space. Brother Long, I will open a path for you. Let's go through this space as soon as possible and we will be able to see the demon-level divine beast's true body. Nodding his head, under such circumstances, he couldn't afford to be careless. Longao immediately used spatial teleportation, his body constantly changing. The lightning attacks in the surroundings were too dense. If it wasn't for Longao's strong defense, he would have already fallen. Let's try the corpse slaves. Longao released hundreds of corpse slaves to defend the surroundings. In this way, he and Violet Thunder could have a chance to take a breather. The result? Hundreds of corpse slaves just appeared. Before Violet Thunder and Longao could have a good rest, crackling sounds could be heard. In just a few seconds, hundreds of corpse slaves were destroyed by the lightning. Not even their bones were left. Ah! Looking at the corpse slaves that disappeared, Longao was completely dumbfounded. This was a little too abnormal. He was very clear about corpse slaves. Even if they couldn't withstand the lightning attacks, they shouldn't be so weak. If he didn't see it with his own eyes, he would have found it unbelievable. What level of Star Divine Beast was this? Star Divine Beast, corresponding to the level of Star Divine Beast, in order of strength, it was divided into Level 1 Star Divine Beast, Level 2 Star Divine Beast, Level 3 Star Divine Beast, Level 4 Star Divine Beast, Level 5 Star Divine Beast, Level 6 Star Divine Beast, Level 8 Star Divine Beast, and Level 9 Star Divine Beast. Further up, there were Domain Divine Beasts, and even higher existences, Domain Divine Beasts. P.S. The 15th chapter has been delivered. All the explosive chapters have been updated. Little 9 is a little tired, so I will go and rest first. Tomorrow, there will be at least 5 chapters. If I have time and energy, I will update more. I hope everyone will vote. Little 9 thanks. Chapter 1678. Longao was very clear about one thing. That was, no matter what level the divine beast in the sky thunderspace was, even if it was only a first-level divine beast, it was not an existence that the two of them could fight against. Fortunately, according to Purple Thunder, this monster had been seriously injured, and its strength was not even 1/10 of the original body's. Gamble. Whether it was Purple Thunder or Longao, in fact, they were both gambling. If they lost the gamble, they would lose their lives. Over 100 corpse demons were killed, and the two of them were shocked. The situation was very critical, and the consequences were unimaginable if they were careless. The lightning attacks around them were getting more and more intense. If this continued, the chances of them dying were too high. The two of them were depressed to the extreme. They had not even seen the face of the monster divine beast, and just the power of lightning around them made them feel a little helpless. Longao used the firmament devouring spell. Hearing Xiling's spiritual sense transmission, Longao was shocked. The firmament devouring spell could certainly devour the power of lightning around them, but what would happen after that? Such a terrifying power of lightning, once it entered his body and destroyed at will, he would not even have the chance to cry. Xiling would not harm him. Regarding this point, Longao was still very confident. Gritting his teeth. In the end, Longao chose to believe in Xiling, and directly used the firmament devouring spell. A huge vortex of air appeared behind him, and began to madly devour the lightning attacks. Seeing this, Purple Thunder Ancestor was shocked. Brother Long, quickly stop. If you devour these lightning bolts, you will undoubtedly die. Purple Thunder Ancestor was a little caught off guard because he never thought that Longao would suddenly devour the power of lightning around him. If he had known, he would not have brought Longao in. Wouldn't this be harming Longao? Purple Thunder Ancestor did not dare to touch Longao at all, because he did not know what was going on with Longao at this moment. Longao didn't have time to say anything to Zilei. The vortex behind Longao began to crazily devour the surrounding lightning. As Longao continued to use more strength, the devouring speed became faster and faster. Gradually, Longao was wrapped in lightning, like a huge cocoon. Longao attracted all the power of thunder and lightning. As for the purple lightning, it did not continue to be attacked by the surrounding lightning. Clenching his fists, Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't have any good ideas. He didn't know what was going on with Longao. Shameless human, you actually dare to devour the heavenly lightning. A furious roar resounded throughout the entire valley. Right at this moment, the surrounding lightning stopped attacking, and a huge divine beast appeared in front of the two of them. Longao finally heaved a sigh of relief when he felt the power of lightning being devoured in his body. No matter how much lightning power he devoured, it would disappear without a trace as soon as it entered his body. Longao didn't even have to ask. He could already guess that all the lightning power he had just devoured must have been destroyed by Xiling. No wonder Xiling wanted him to use the firmament devouring art. F***ck hearing it was one thing, seeing it with his own eyes was another matter. A huge divine beast appeared in front of them. Longao was dumbfounded. He had never seen such a divine beast before, so he didn't know what it was. Grade 1 Space Divine Beast, Lightning Chileen. This is a Chileen. Longao had seen a real Chileen before, but he had never seen such a Chileen. But after thinking about it, he understood. After all, this Chileen in front of him was a space divine beast that came from the vast universe. You two shameless humans, how dare you seal me for 10,000 years? This time, I will completely destroy the Purple Thunder sect. F***ck, where should I start? No matter if it was Purple Thunder or Longao, neither of them had sealed a lightning Chileen. As for who sealed this space divine beast, only a ghost would know. It was very depressing. Longao could sense that even if the space divine beast in front of him hadn't recovered its original strength, it should have undergone nirvana rebirth and possessed the forbidden power. This was the real problem. If the starry sky mythical beast did not have the taboo power or could not release the taboo power, then everything would be easy. Longao had full confidence that it would not be difficult to kill the starry sky mythical beast in front of him with the help of him and Zilei. Xiling could only help him, but he couldn't take out good things every time. If that was the case, things would be a little troublesome. Right at this moment. Longao, this lightning Chileen is very beneficial to Bai Ling. No matter what happens, you have to deal with it. Beneficial to Bai Ling? So what if it was beneficial? The lightning Chileen's strength was there for all to see, and it could even release the forbidden power. Not to mention dealing with the lightning Chileen, it was already a big problem if he could leave this space alive. Longao, the three of us have already discussed. With the three of us working together, we should be able to suppress this grade 1 space divine beast. When the time comes, you just have to deal with it. Remember, don't let the people around you know. Hearing Xiling's words, Longao finally breathed a sigh of relief. Xiling, Bai Ling, and Long Fu's strength was there for all to see. Although he didn't know how strong Long Fu was, Xiling and Bai Ling were at the peak of their original bodies, and they were the real Starry Domain Emperors. With the three of them working together, it would be strange if they couldn't suppress a grade 1 space divine beast. Brother Purple Thunder, step back first. I have a way to deal with this space divine beast. Brother Long, do you really have a way? Yes, the primordial spirit of Genling in my body has a way. Trust me. Hearing this, Purple Thunder didn't continue to stay because everyone knew that Genling's primordial spirit was in Longao's body, and it was a Genling's primordial spirit of Starry Sky. He believed that its strength must be above that of a grade 1 space divine beast. In this case, Genling's primordial spirit could easily kill the space divine beast. His heart was filled with unwillingness. After guarding for 10,000 years, Purple Thunder Ancestor hoped that one day, he would be able to devour the lightning Chileen and break through to the Starry Sky realm. But now, he didn't think too much about it, because he wasn't an indecisive person. He knew very well that if he didn't eliminate this monster as soon as possible, not only him, but the entire Purple Thunder sect would face a calamity. Brother Long, be careful. He didn't continue to stay and turned to leave. In a short while, the Purple Thunder Ancestor's figure disappeared without a trace, leaving only Longao and the lightning Chileen in the valley. Why didn't you chase? Longao was curious. He didn't know why the lightning Chileen didn't chase after the Purple Thunder Ancestor. Could it be that the Chileen wanted to deal with him? It was funny. Human, a mere Purple Thunder Ancestor. As long as I can break the seal and recover my primordial spirit strength, not to mention the Purple Thunder sect, even if the world's experts came, I wouldn't be afraid. However, there is something on you that interests me. If you obediently hand it over, I can spare your life. Chapter 1679. What? Longao was not worried at all. Xiling had just said that the three of them could kill the Thunder Kylin in minutes. Boy, you want to play tricks with me? From the beginning, the Thunder Kylin did not take Longao seriously. Although the Thunder Kylin was only a first-level divine beast of the Starry Sky, it could do whatever it wanted in the Qianwu continent. Under the Starry Sky, all were ants. Do you think I will play tricks with you? Before the Thunder Kylin could continue speaking, Longao's body suddenly disappeared. Just at this moment, a reincarnation sword Qi slashed toward the Thunder Kylin with endless anger. The Thunder Kylin certainly knew what had happened. Human, I will cut you into pieces. You. Longao certainly knew that with his strength, even if he used the reincarnation sword, it was impossible to kill the Thunder Kylin. 3 terrifying forces suddenly soared in Longao's body and directly suppressed the Thunder Kylin. Ah! The Thunder Kylin did not expect that such a small human could release such a terrifying force. It seemed to have thought of something and immediately turned to leave. But it was too late. Xiling, Bai Ling, and Long Fu joined forces and not only destroyed the Thunder Kylin, but also directly absorbed the Thunder Kylin's primordial spirit into the Dragon Seal space. If the Thunder Kylin was at its peak, even the 3 of them could not do this. However, the Thunder Kylin was not at its peak strength at all. Longao, I will leave the heavenly thunder to you. Remember, this kind of power is incomparably precious even in the vast starry sky, not to mention a small plane. Wasn't swallowing the heavenly thunder seeking death? Longao knew his body's condition very well. It was completely stupid to want to forcibly swallow the heavenly thunder around him. Just now, he was fine because of Xiling. If Xiling needed it, why didn't he swallow it himself? Could it be? Don't think too much. Once your reincarnation sword swallows the heavenly thunder here, it will be the best thing for the reincarnation sword. Without the slightest hesitation. Longao was very clear about the power of the Samsara sword. Currently, he could only use less than 1% of the Samsara sword's power. It was hard to imagine how powerful the Samsara sword was at its peak. The more powerful the Samsara sword was, the more advantageous it would be for him. He took out the Samsara sword and held it tightly. No reaction. Unable to devour. Suddenly, Longao seemed to have thought of something and secretly scolded himself for being careless. He immediately activated the 9 revolving reincarnation sword. The power in his body surged into his right hand. To be precise, it was surging into the reincarnation sword in his right hand. As expected. The reincarnation sword radiated light in all directions and devoured the heavenly thunder in a frenzy. Its speed was getting faster and faster. Gradually, Longao was completely enveloped by the heavenly lightning. In the Dragon Seal space. Xiling's face was filled with surprise. She never thought that something she had lost 10,000 years ago would return. It was a pleasant surprise. 3 lords, please let me go. I'm already pitiful enough. The Thunder Kylin felt like dying because the purple-clothed girl in front of him was the person who had sealed him 10,000 years ago, the Starry Sky Region Emperor. For a Starry Sky divine beast ancestor like him, she was simply an invincible existence. Back then, he had spent a lot of effort to escape the purple-clothed girl's pursuit. He never thought that he would fall into her hands again 10,000 years later. Wouldn't he die without a doubt? Sister. Without giving Bai Ling any chance to speak, Xiling said unhappily, Sister, you're too kind. If it weren't for your kindness, you and I would have broken the seal and left the Qianwu continent. Why would we wait until now? Bai Ling disagreed. In her opinion, if she and her sister had left the Qianwu continent 10,000 years ago, they would not have met Brother Long. No regrets. Sister, we're really sorry for doing this. That's enough. Xiling was obviously angry. He said coldly, others, always others. But has anyone ever thought about us? If you and I hadn't devoured this body back then, we would have died long ago. Sister, what I lost back then, I must get back. As for what happened 10,000 years ago, I have already missed it once. This time, no matter what happens, I won't miss it. No one can stop me. Bai Ling seemed like she wanted to say something, but seeing that her sister had made up her mind, she swallowed her words. Thunder Kylin, back then, we were ambushed by our enemies. You stole our body. Xiling did not continue. He looked at Long Fu. His meaning was clear. The Thunder Kylin was frightened. He nodded and said bitterly, Lords, this is what you needed. I'll return it to you now. Please let me go. I won't dare to do it again. Immediately devouring it, Xiling was pleasantly surprised. With this thing, she and her sister could recover in the shortest time. However, Bai Ling was not very happy. She knew very well that once she recovered her strength, her sister would definitely force her to leave Brother Long die. Big. Before the Thunder Chelin could say another word, his soul was destroyed. Long Fu and Xiling had already discussed it. They would each take what they needed. Xiling and Bai Ling only wanted to take back what belonged to them. As for the Thunder Chelin's soul, it would be given to Long Fu. Outside the valley, seeing their ancestor come out, Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian were delighted. Long Ao did not come out with them. Could it be that Long Ao had died in the sky lightning space? If that was the case, the heavens were helping them. Ancestor, where is Long Ao? The two hoped that Long Ao would never come out. However, Yi Tianhua thought the opposite. Yi Tianhua knew very well that with the help of Long Ao's corpse slave army, the sect could ignore the Martial Artists Alliance and the Wan Shou sect. They could even ignore the attacks of any other sect. He absolutely did not want anything to happen to Long Ao. Brother Long is fine. He's just dealing with the astral beast. Hearing their ancestors' words, everyone seemed to be stunned. They had seen crazy people before, but they had never seen such a crazy person. Long Ao had just broken through to the Nirvana realm, but he dared to face the astral beast alone. He must be out of his mind. However, no one doubted their ancestor. If Long Ao dared to face the astral beast alone, then he must be very confident. Although it was hard to believe, Long Ao was a variable. To be able to escape under the eyes of the world's strongest, one could imagine how crazy Long Ao was. Ancestor, what should we do now? Wait and see. I believe that Brother Long will definitely be able to deal with the astral beast. If we don't get rid of this monster, I'm afraid there will be endless troubles in the future. If I knew this would happen, I would have gotten rid of him 10,000 years ago when he was seriously injured. P.S. I don't know if it's because I wrote too much yesterday, but my thumb hurts so much that I can't write anymore. Xiao Ju will rest today. The remaining 3 chapters will be added tomorrow. I hope everyone will forgive me. Chapter 1680. In the Valley. Long Ao could no longer see. He was shrouded by the terrifying heavenly thunder, like a huge cocoon. The heavenly thunder did not attack Long Ao. It was all devoured by the Samsara sword. It was endless. Unknowingly, the Samsara sword had been devouring the heavenly thunder around it for 6 hours. All the heavenly thunder in the entire heavenly thunder space was devoured by the Samsara sword. Holding the Samsara sword, Long Ao tried to use the Samsara sword. The Samsara sword chi only had a trace of thunder and lightning aura. It was hard to imagine that it could not release even 1,000th of such a huge power of thunder and lightning. In the end, it was because he was not strong enough. Long Ao, come in. Hearing Violet Spirit's spiritual sense transmission, Long Ao did not hesitate in the slightest and immediately entered the Dragon Seal space. In the Dragon Seal space. Where's the Thunder Kylin? It's gone. He was not surprised at all, because Long Ao had guessed that since Xiling had defeated the Thunder Kylin, the chances of the Thunder Kylin surviving were very small. Xiling, what's the matter? Xiling nodded and did not continue to hide it. He roughly told him what happened 10,000 years ago. It would be a lie to say that he was not shocked. Long Ao never expected that the person who sealed the Thunder Kylin 10,000 years ago was none other than Xiling. Shocking. Super shocking. What did Xiling mean by telling him this? Bai Ling, I think you should tell him. Bai Ling's face was filled with sadness. However, her expression was exceptionally resolute as she said, Big Brother Long, no matter what happens, no matter when, I will never leave you. Ah! Why did Bai Ling suddenly say this? Are Xiling and Bai Ling going to leave me? He was anxious and asked impatiently, Bai Ling, what happened? Why do you want to leave me? Xiling was helpless. Let me do it. The expression on Xiling's face was very strange. Normally, Long Ao would have noticed it, but what Bai Ling had just said had messed up Long Ao's state of mind, so he didn't notice the strange expression on Xiling's face. Long Ao, I believe you already understand our situation. To tell you the truth, we have already obtained what we wanted. If there are no accidents, we will be able to recover our ability to protect ourselves in 3 years. You want to leave the Sky Marshal continent in 3 years? Hearing Xiling's words, Longao had already guessed what Xiling and Bailing meant. The two of them didn't belong to the Marshal Heaven continent in the first place. They came from the vast starry sky, so it was normal for them to leave. Longao definitely couldn't bear to part with him. Xiling, I already know what you mean. I don't have any objections. I fully respect Bai Ling's wishes. Whether or not Bai Ling is willing to leave the Sky Marshal continent, I have no objections. I'm not leaving. I just said that no matter what, I won't leave Big Brother Longao. Bai Ling's expression was unusually resolute. How could Xiling not know his silly little sister's character? Xiling sighed deeply in his heart. His voice was very indifferent as he said, Bai Ling, have you forgotten our enemy? If we don't leave the Sky Marshal continent, we will never be able to. At this point, Violet Spirit did not continue speaking. Longao knew very well that Xiling must have something that he didn't want him to know. Since that was the case, he didn't continue to ask. If Xiling wanted to tell him, even if he didn't ask, Xiling would take the initiative to tell him. There are still 3 years left. Longao, no matter what the situation is, you have to reach the Starry Sky Realm in 3 years. Otherwise, not just my little sister, I believe that even the godly mathematician and the heavenly Tao won't let you go. Bai Ling seemed to want to say something else, but in the end, she forced herself to swallow her words. 3 years. He only had 3 years. Xiling's meaning was very clear. If he couldn't break through to the Starry Sky Realm in 3 years, not to mention Bai Ling, even his own safety would be a problem. Longao's cultivation had only just broken through to the unity of heaven and man realm. If it were anyone else, it would be almost impossible to break through to the Starry Sky Realm in 3 years. However, Longao's situation was completely different. Longao was very confident. If there were no accidents, he could break through to the Starry Sky Realm from the unity of heaven and man realm in 3 years. The biggest problem now was not whether he could break through to the Starry Sky Realm. Starry Sky cultivators were divided into 9 levels. Above the 9th level were the Starry Sky Domain Lord and the Starry Sky Domain Emperor. So what if he could break through to the Starry Sky Cultivator in 3 years? Even a level 2 or level 3 Starry Sky Cultivator wouldn't be able to survive in the vast Starry Sky, let alone a level 1 Starry Sky Cultivator. Xiling felt very helpless. In this case, she didn't know what to say. She could only walk to the side, sit down quietly and start cultivating. Time was the most important thing for Xiling now. Brother Long, I can help you. Bai Ling, I know you mean well, but do you think I'll be at ease if you get hurt in order to help me? Looking at Bai Ling, who seemed to be hesitating, Longao had already guessed that even if Bai Ling had a way to improve her strength in the shortest time possible, it wouldn't be a good thing for Bai Ling. If she got hurt because of him, Longao wouldn't forgive himself. He wouldn't agree to this kind of thing either. Brother Long, sister is actually doing this for your own good. According to our guess, the clairvoyant master and the heavenly Tao aren't ordinary. They can seal a plane at will and use the primal chaos stone tablet to continuously attract starry sky cultivators. The two of them must have a conspiracy. What conspiracy? No one knew. It was just Xiling and Bai Ling's guess. Even Longao knew that there was definitely something wrong with the clairvoyant master. Otherwise, why would the clairvoyant master pretend not to know that he had the primal chaos stone tablet? As for the heavenly Tao, it definitely didn't know that he had the primal chaos stone tablet. Otherwise, the heavenly Tao would definitely deal with him. Brother Long, if the clairvoyant master wants to deal with you in 3 years, sister and I can help you leave the martial heaven continent. However, the prerequisite is that your cultivation base has to break through to the starry sky realm. Otherwise, even if we can take you to the vast starry sky, I'm afraid, Bai Ling was already tearing up. She knew that if her brother Long didn't break through to the starry sky realm in 3 years, once he entered the vast starry sky, he would definitely die. Chapter 1681. The vast starry sky was filled with endless starry sky energy. Starry sky energy was a forbidden power possessed by starry sky cultivators. Unless one was a starry sky cultivator, no matter who it was, once they stepped into the vast starry sky, only death awaited them. Bai Ling's worry was very simple. Bai Ling wasn't worried at all. 3 years later, the divine mathematician and the heavenly Tao would deal with Brother Long. The only thing she was worried about was that 3 years later, if Brother Long's cultivation couldn't break through the starry sky, he wouldn't be able to step into the vast starry sky. If that was the case, things would be troublesome. The vast starry sky was boundless. If Brother Long could leave the Qianwu continent, no matter how strong the divine mathematician was, finding a trace of him in the vast starry sky would be like finding a needle in the sea. Could he leave the Qianwu continent? 100% impossible. Even if he could break through the starry sky realm, Longao wouldn't leave because he still had responsibilities, the responsibilities of his family. Parents, grandfather, lover, brothers, friends, sect. He might be able to break through the starry sky realm in 3 years, but what about others? If he left, what would happen to his family? Longao didn't say these words because he didn't want Bai Ling to worry. This kind and silly girl didn't know anything other than him. He smiled and said, "Your sister is right. There's still a long time before 3 years, no one knows the variables. We'll talk about it when the time comes, don't worry." Bai Ling didn't say anything, but she definitely wouldn't give up in her heart. She had decided that 3 years later, she would do everything she could to take Brother Long away. Even if Brother Long didn't leave, she would stay. They would live or die together. After dealing with the lightning Chelin, Longao didn't leave immediately. He waited for a day and a night before leaving the valley. Outside the valley, 2 days had passed and Longao still hadn't appeared. Could it be that he had died? Thinking of this, whether it was Yi Wutian or Yi Wudi, both of them were excited to the extreme. Maybe they were blinded by hatred, but Longao's survival was obviously beneficial to the Violet Thunder sect. As elders of the Violet Thunder sect, they had to put the sect's benefits first. But what about the other two? The two of them didn't care about the so-called interests of the Dragon sect at all. As long as Longao fell, they would pay any price. From this, it could be seen how deep the friendship between the two of them and Yi Wuren was. Ancestor, Longao hasn't come out yet, could it be? Brother Long has not fallen. I can sense that the Avildor in the sky thunder space has already lost his breath. Purple Thunder Ancestor was very shocked. Although he was unwilling to believe it, the fact was in front of him. Yesterday, he had already sensed that the aura of the Thunder Chelin had disappeared. In that case, why hadn't Brother Long come out? Did something really happen to Brother Long? The Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't want to believe it. This wasn't because Longao was useful to him, but because from the beginning to the end, the Purple Thunder Ancestor really treated Longao as a friend. Otherwise, he wouldn't have told Longao the secret of the Sky Thunder space. For 10,000 years, other than a few elders, no one else knew the secret of the Sky God Beast. Right at this moment. Quickly look, Master Long has come out. It wasn't known which elder exclaimed, but everyone's gaze turned to the front. As expected, a weary Longao slowly walked out from the mountain valley. Although his speed seemed slow, it was actually very fast. In the blink of an eye, he had already arrived in front of everyone. "Brother Long, how is it?" Seeing that Longao had come out unscathed, the Purple Thunder Ancestor finally heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. However, the Purple Thunder Ancestor was extremely worried about the Sky God Beast in the mountain valley. The reason was simple: if this Avildor broke the seal and escaped, the Purple Thunder sect would be the first to suffer. Based on the terrifying strength of the Sky God Beast, unless an expert from the starry space descended, who else would be able to fight against it? Longao didn't hide anything. "Fortunately, I didn't disappoint you. The Thunder Chelin has already fallen, and as for its primordial spirit, it was devoured by Genling's primordial spirit. I hope Big Brother Purple Thunder won't blame me." Joy flashed across the Purple Thunder Ancestor's face as he happily replied, "Brother Long must be joking. How could I blame you for this matter? Fortunately, you were here this time, otherwise, if the Thunder Chileen escaped, the consequences would be unimaginable. Xiling didn't take away the primordial spirit of the Thunder Chileen. Long Fu also told the truth to Longao. His meaning was very simple. He wanted to ask his master how to deal with the primordial spirit of the sky god beast. After thinking about it, Longao ultimately decided to let Long Qiong devour the primordial spirit. As for this decision, it wasn't a decision made by Longao alone. Long Qiong took the initiative to let Long Ming devour the primordial spirit of the sky god beast. Good. It was unrealistic to say that he wasn't willing to give up. However, the Purple Thunder ancestor was very open-minded. If it wasn't for Genling's primordial spirit in Longao's primordial spirit, the Purple Thunder sect would have been destroyed by now. As for him, it was unknown whether he could survive. Brother Long, please. Looking at the Purple Thunder ancestor, Longao, and the master's silhouettes, Yi Wuqian's face was gloomy to the extreme. He said coldly, "Big brother, Longao is too unpredictable. I believe that it will be impossible for us to deal with him soon. We have to think of a way." Yi Wuqian nodded in agreement. How could he not know what his second brother was worried about? After thinking for a while, Yi Wuqian seemed to have thought of something. He smiled and said, "I have a good idea. When Longao enters the Sky Thunder space, Genling's primordial spirit devours the primordial spirit of the Sky God Beast. We can leak the secret that Longao has successfully obtained the primordial spirit of a first-grade Sky God Beast with the help of the Purple Thunder ancestor. According to my guess, if nothing unexpected happens, all the Nirvana Realm experts will not be able to resist the temptation to take action." Genling's primordial spirit had already attracted the attention of all the experts in the world. They just wanted to watch. Longao was relatively safe now, but Yi Wuqian was full of confidence. If there was the primordial spirit of the Sky God Beast, would these so-called experts still continue to wait? Big brother, Longao doesn't have the primordial spirit of the Sky God Beast. It has been devoured by Genling's primordial spirit. Second brother, you are really too smart. Whether Longao has the primordial spirit of the sky or not, we will treat it as if he has it. Do you understand? Yi Wuqian was not a fool. Now that he thought about it, he instantly understood the general idea. If that was the case, Longao would definitely die. Big brother, I also want to get my hands on Genling's primordial spirit. It could even kill a level 1 Sky God Beast. It was obvious that the Genling's primordial spirit in Longao's body was at least a level 3 Sky Genling. In any case, the current Genling's primordial spirit was only in the form of a primordial spirit, not the real body. From this, one could imagine how powerful the real body of Genling's primordial spirit was. Well, it's impossible to say that I don't want to get my hands on it. But our first task now is to find a way to deal with Longao. As for Genling's primordial spirit, let me think about how to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Speaking of this, Yi Wuqian and Yi Wuqian laughed at the same time. Their laughter was very strange. In the main hall, only Longao, Yi Tianhua, and Zilei were present. As for the other elders, especially Yi Wuqian and Yi Wuqian, they were not present. After thinking about it, Zilei said, "Brother Long, I want to ask you something. With your wife's help, is it possible for you to reach the Starry Sky Realm?" Having understood what Zilei meant, Longao answered truthfully, "Yes, but I believe you already know that all the origin energy of the Tianwu continent has been driven out of the continent by the heavenly Tao. The continent has been sealed, unable to communicate with the vast starry sky. As a result, not only can we not comprehend the origin energy, we can't even devour it." The vast starry sky? Yi Tianhua and Zilei were very curious because they didn't know what the vast starry sky was. Unless one's cultivation base had broken through to the starry sky realm, no one would know about the vast starry sky. As for Longao, he was an anomaly. If it weren't for Xiling and Bai Ling, they believed that Longao wouldn't know about the vast starry sky either. Since the words had already come to this, Longao did not wish to continue concealing it either. He told them about the 9 levels of the Starry Sky, the Starry Sky Domain Lords, the Starry Sky Domain Emperors, and even the vast Starry Sky. Longao roughly told them everything he knew. After listening, the two of them looked at each other. They saw shock and disbelief in each other's eyes. So the Tianwu continent was just a small low-level plain. Outside, there was the vast starry sky with countless planes. Just thinking about it was inconceivable. Brother Long, if that's the case, the continent will be sealed, and will never be able to obtain the origin energy. You can borrow your wife's power to break through, but we can. Zilei was filled with helplessness and unwillingness. His cultivation base had already reached this level, and he was only 1 step away. As long as he could take that final step, he would be like a carp leaping over the dragon gate and reaching the starry sky realm. But that final step was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. That was because the heavenly Taos had sealed the continent, making it impossible for the origin energy to enter. Unless one devoured the starry sky Yuan spirit, no one would be able to obtain the origin energy and break through to the starry sky realm. He was already an 8th rank starry sky cultivator, but it didn't seem to care about others. Yi Tianhua and Zilei could imagine why the heavenly Taos would do this. It clearly didn't want others to break through to the starry sky realm. That way, he wouldn't be a threat. That selfish and shameless thing. Brother Long, I really don't understand. Is the God Diviner not going to interfere with the heavenly Tao's actions? Zilei was very bewildered. The God Diviner had always been known as the #1 expert. Was the heavenly Taos doing this with the God Diviner's tacit approval? Chapter 1682. Divine Mathematician? Longao also didn't know, because at this moment, he didn't know whether Divine Mathematician deliberately allowed it or was forced to do so. Big Brother Purple Thunder, these things are not something we can intervene in. He nodded in agreement. The matters between the Starry Skies cultivators were still too far away from them, especially the Grade 8 and Grade 9 Starry Skies cultivators, which were even more distant than the others. How could Longao not know about Purple Thunder's helplessness? As a cultivator, especially when one's cultivation had reached this level, it was impossible to not want to go to the next level. Purple Thunder's cultivation had already broken through the peak of Nirvana rebirth, only 1 step away from the Starry Sky realm. The last step. Only the last step. Purple Thunder's gap was like heaven and earth. It was almost impossible to break through the Starry Sky realm. Big Brother Purple Thunder, I have a way to help you reach the Starry Sky realm in the future. Really? Purple Thunder Ancestor seemed to know that he had lost his composure, but he couldn't help but be surprised, because he was very clear that Longao's words shouldn't be false, because he understood Longao relatively well. Big Brother Purple Thunder, trust me. Good, good, good. At this time, Yi Tianhua left the main hall and returned not long after. His face was extremely gloomy, as ugly as it could be. Tianhua, what happened? Purple Thunder was very clear about Yi Tianhua's character. If it wasn't something important, he believed that Yi Tianhua wouldn't be like this. Old Ancestor, things are not good. I don't know who spread the news, saying that Longao has obtained the Thunder Chaline's Starry Sky primordial spirit, and is sharing it with my Purple Thunder sect. F***ck hearing Yi Tianhua's words, Purple Thunder Ancestor was furious. Because about the Thunder Chaline, except for a few people, it was impossible to spread the news. Nothing happened for 10,000 years, but this time it happened. Purple Thunder Ancestor was 100% confident that this news was definitely not from Longao. Not to mention, since leaving the valley, Longao had been by his side, never leaving. Tianhua, what's going on? Did you find out who leaked this news? I don't know, I can't find out. Yi Tianhua was also extremely depressed. He did not know why this matter would be leaked out of nowhere. Yi Tianhua and Zilei looked at each other. Both of them were not idiots. They knew that it must have been one of the elders who had leaked the news. Otherwise, how could they have leaked the news? Brother Long, I'm sorry. I'll definitely get to the bottom of this. It doesn't matter. The most important thing for us now is to think of a way to deal with it. Longao was also shocked. Longao had already guessed that Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi were most likely the ones who had leaked the news. However, Longao didn't say anything. The reason was simple: this matter was ultimately a matter of the Violet Thunder sect. It wouldn't be too good if he said it out loud. Longao believed that Purple Thunder would definitely give him an explanation for this matter. The Thunder Chaline's primordial spirit was in the Dragon Seal space. Regardless of whether this matter was true or not, the people outside would probably choose to believe it. At the end of the day, things were getting troublesome. Originally, the matter of Genling's primordial spirit had already caused the surrounding experts to be filled with endless greed. It was only because they didn't want to be the first to stand out that they didn't make a move. Longao was almost certain that as long as there was a chance, all the experts around would not hesitate at all. They would most likely attack him crazily. Now that the matter of the Thunder Chaline had been leaked out, would the surrounding experts still continue to watch? Not necessarily. If the surrounding Nirvana Realm experts and countless sects were to rush into the Violet Thunder sect, even if Longao could escape using teleportation or the Dragon Seal space, what about the Violet Thunder sect? Longao didn't want to hurt the Violet Thunder sect. As if he could guess Longao's thoughts, Zilei suddenly smiled and said, "Brother Long, you don't have to worry. No matter what happens, we will advance and retreat together." He was touched. He cursed in his heart. It was precisely because of Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi's shamelessness that he and the Violet Thunder sect were forced into a passive position. "Brother Long, I believe you must be tired these 2 days. You should rest first. Tomorrow at this time, I will give you an explanation." As if he wanted to say something, Longao swallowed his words. Longao stood up and left. He believed that Big Brother Purple Thunder would definitely give him an explanation. He chose to believe in Big Brother Purple Thunder. In the Great Hall, only the Purple Thunder ancestor and Yi Tianhua remained. "Old ancestor, I've thought about it countless times. The person who leaked this matter is most likely to be..." Speaking up to here, Yi Tianhua suddenly stopped, not continuing his sentence. In fact, the Purple Thunder ancestor had already guessed it, but he wasn't willing to say it out loud. After all, he had already killed a Nirvana Realm expert. If he continued to kill Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi, that would be a total of 3 Nirvana Realm experts. To the Violet Thunder sect, this was too great of a loss. "Old ancestor, can you..." Waving his hand, the Purple Thunder ancestor naturally knew what Yi Tianhua wanted to say. He coldly said, "Tianhua, Longao is my brother. If I can't give him an explanation, how can I face him? Old ancestor, we've already lost an elder. If we continue to lose 2 more elders, it would undoubtedly be a great loss to us, especially in this period of time." As the master of the Violet Thunder sect, no matter what, Yi Tianhua had to first consider the benefits of the sect. "I've already decided on this matter. Follow me." Yi Tianhua was very clear in his heart that since the old ancestor had already made his decision, there was no way to deal with the aftermath. Even if he wanted to cover for the 2 of them, it was impossible. Losing 3 elders in a row, it was impossible to say that he didn't feel heartache, but there was no other way. Yi Tianhua was also very clear that this matter was indeed a little too extreme. Not only did it harm Longao, it also harmed the old ancestor and the Violet Thunder sect. If there was even the slightest negligence, the Violet Thunder sect would be doomed eternally. At the residence of Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi, Yi Tianhua and Yi Wudi didn't find any traces of them. They were very curious because at this time, the 2 of them should be cultivating. As if he had guessed something, Yi Tianhua cursed in his heart. "Old ancestor, the 2 of them wouldn't have left already, right? If Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi had left, then there was no need to ask. They could already be sure that the matter was leaked by the 2 of them. If that was really the case, the Violet Thunder sect would have lost a lot of face. The betrayal of an elder was something that had never happened before in the history of the Violet Thunder sect. Chapter 1683. It was just as Yi Tianhua had guessed. Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi had already guessed that if they leaked the news, it would definitely arouse the suspicion of the old ancestor and master. The two of them knew better than anyone else what the consequences would be. If they didn't leave, only death awaited them. For Longao, the old ancestor could mercilessly kill their third brother. Similarly, the old ancestor could also kill them for Longao. It would be unrealistic to say that they weren't angry. However, under such circumstances, Purple Lei didn't want to cause any more trouble. He didn't want others to know about this. Purple Thunder Sect. Unable to wait for the next day, the two left the sect. Purple Thunder Ancestor didn't know how to explain it to Longao. He regretted not killing them on the spot. That was why he had caused such a big trouble. He regretted it. However, it was too late for regrets. The day slowly passed, and dusk gradually arrived. The Purple Thunder Sect's dusk was exceptionally purple, as if the whole mountain was wearing a thin layer of purple gauze. It was very beautiful. In a secluded courtyard. Longao sat alone in the courtyard. No one knew what he was thinking. Big Brother Purple Thunder, you're here. Longao already guessed that Big Brother Purple Thunder coming here this time, he must have already investigated who leaked the secret. In fact, there was no need to investigate. Longao was already very sure that the people who had leaked the news of the Lightning Chelin were Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi. In the end, he had harmed the Purple Thunder Sect. In their opinion, he was the one who had killed Yi Wuren. It was understandable that they wanted to avenge their third brother. Brother Long, they have already left the sect. Purple Thunder didn't say much because he didn't know what to say under such circumstances. Big Brother Purple Thunder, if you're willing, leave this matter to me. Brother Long, Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi are no longer elders of my Violet Thunder Sect. In the future, whether they live or die has nothing to do with our Violet Thunder Sect. Regardless of whether the two of them had left or not, it was impossible for Violet Thunder to keep them here. If Longao could personally kill them, it could be considered as cleaning up the sect. He didn't continue to dwell on this problem. After all, the problem now was too big. If he couldn't resolve it properly, not only him, but even the Violet Thunder Sect wouldn't be able to escape the consequences. The two of them discussed for an entire night. As for their conversation, no one knew. As for Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi, after leaving the Violet Thunder Sect, they pondered for a long time. In the end, both of them chose to submit to the Azura Palace instead of the other 8 superpowers. The Heavenly Profound Sect had already been destroyed, and now, only 9 out of 10 remained. Big Brother, Xing Kuan is not a simple person. Although he seems to welcome us on the surface, I'm worried that he will burn the bridge after crossing it. How could Yi Wutian not know about his brother's worries? After thinking for a while, he said, "Second brother, this is just a temporary measure. If I'm not mistaken, the old ancestor already knows that we're behind this. If we don't find a strong backer, how can we resist the Violet Thunder Sect?" Sneering, Yi Wutian didn't seem to be worried at all. He continued, "The most important reason we're submitting to the Azura Palace this time is to snatch Genling's Yuan spirit. If we can get our hands on Genling's Yuan spirit, we'll escape immediately. In the vast sea of people, it won't be easy for them to find us." Hearing his brother's words, Yi Wudi smiled. Inside the Azura Palace, old ancestor, Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi suddenly betrayed the Violet Thunder Sect and submitted to us for no reason. There must be something fishy about this matter. Could it be a scheme by the Violet Thunder Sect? Xing Fa was very worried. At this time, if they let their guard down, the Azura Palace would be in big trouble. Not to mention, they were 2 elders of the Violet Thunder Sect. If the Violet Thunder Sect did this on purpose, the Azura Palace would be in big trouble. No matter what, Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi were genuine Nirvana realm cultivators. If they said that there was no danger, who would believe it? Xing Kuan smiled and didn't put this matter in his heart. He said indifferently, "I'm well aware of this matter. Xing Fa, what's the other's plan?" Of course, Xing Fa knew what the old ancestor meant. He immediately replying to the old ancestor, "The Violet Thunder Sect suddenly spread the news that Longao has obtained the Yuan spirit of the Space Divine Beast. Everyone unanimously agreed that this was a lie and it could be a scheme set up by Longao and the Violet Thunder Sect. Because of this, no one is willing to take the risk. This matter should be a lie. Not only for Xing Kuan, even the others all felt that the sudden news from the Violet Thunder sect might be a trap. If these people were to know that the news was true, how would they react? Xing Fa originally wanted to ask Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi, but the answer he got was that the two of them didn't know anything. It wasn't that the two of them didn't want to say anything. In any case, they had already left the Violet Thunder sect. It didn't matter whether they said anything or not. It was just that they had made a blood oath not to divulge this secret. They had already divulged it in secret. If they divulged it openly, wouldn't the old ancestor be forced to deal with them? The two of them knew their limits. If the old ancestor steeled his heart to kill them, even Xing Kuan wouldn't be able to protect them. In order to preserve their lives, it was best not to divulge this secret. Old ancestor, since this is the case, what should we do next? Let's wait and see. I want to see how Longao and the Violet Thunder sect will deal with the rest of the world. No matter what happens, we just have to watch from the sidelines. When the time comes, I'll be the fisherman to reap the benefits. Xing Kuan was extremely confident. In his opinion, unless the divine diviner or the heavenly Tao's descended, he was invincible under the heavens. Even the myriad beast's ancestor wouldn't be his match. On the second day after the news spread, there was still no movement in the surroundings. This caused Longao and Violet Thunder to be extremely curious. They didn't know what was going on. Under normal circumstances, since the experts of the world already knew about the lightning Qilin, as well as the Genling's primordial spirit, no one would be able to resist such temptation. In that case, why didn't anyone come to snatch the starry sky primordial spirit? Could this be the calm before the storm? Old ancestor, Master Long, I've already investigated. Not a single person has attacked us. In fact, the continent doesn't even care about us. If there are battles to be fought, there will be battles everywhere. Brother Long, what do you think about this matter? Violet Thunder was bewildered. Last night, he and Longao had discussed this matter for an entire night. In their opinion, with two starry sky primordial spirits here, the matter of the Phoenix Peak would most likely repeat itself. At that time, whether or not the Violet Thunder sect would survive would be unknown. After thinking about it, Longao sneered, "Big brother Violet Thunder, according to my guess, if there are no accidents, the experts of the world won't believe in the lightning Qilin. After so many years, not a single starry sky primordial spirit has appeared. Now that my wife has appeared, it's enough to shock the world. If someone says that I obtained another starry sky primordial spirit, I'm afraid no one will believe it." Violet Thunder nodded in agreement. There's one more thing. If no one believes in the lightning Qilin, then no one will be willing to be the first to act. Especially in this situation, everyone knows that no matter who acts, let alone whether they will succeed or not, even if they succeed, so what? As the saying goes, if you watch the fire from the other side of the river, there will be others who will reap the benefits. Such a simple logic, if one person knows it, then 10,000 people will know it. Brother Long, you are right. However, if this continues, it's not a good idea. Who knows if someone will take the risk? Therefore, I'm prepared to activate the barrier and seal the Violet Thunder sect. Was this really a good idea? Longao was very clear in his heart that this matter was caused by him. As long as he left the Violet Thunder sect, unless the Myriad Beast sect or the Martial Artists Alliance continued to act, no one would be willing to take the risk. After all, the Violet Thunder sect was one of the 10 major powers. Their strength was there for all to see. Thinking of this, Longao made a decision in his heart. Looking at the Violet Thunder ancestor in front of him, Longao's expression was resolute as he said, "Big brother Violet Thunder, this matter was caused by me. After this, I will openly leave the Violet Thunder sect. I believe that in this way, no one will target the Violet Thunder sect. As for the Martial Artists Alliance and the Myriad Beast sect, no matter when, as long as they dare to attack the Violet Thunder sect, I will definitely come to their aid." What a shock. The Violet Thunder ancestor naturally knew what Longao meant. The more Longao acted like this, the more guilty he felt in his heart. As a friend, He actually needed his friend to leave in order to protect the Violet Thunder sect. This was a complete humiliation. Brother Long, are you looking down on me? Big brother Violet Thunder, I know what you mean. I don't have any intention of looking down on you, I just don't want to implicate you. I've already made up my mind. Big brother Violet Thunder, after I settle this matter, let's join forces and plan for the world together. Speaking till here, Longao didn't continue because he understood the personality of the Violet Thunder ancestor very well. If he didn't hurry up and leave, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to leave in a while. Staring at the disappearing silhouette, the Violet Thunder ancestor clenched his fists tightly. His heart was wavering. If not, how could Longao leave? However, he was also clear that as long as Longao left, the Violet Thunder sect would no longer be in trouble and could continue to fight for the world. Tianhua, did I make a mistake in this matter? Did the old ancestor really make a mistake? Most probably, this was a matter of opinion. If the old ancestor stood on the side of a friend, he would definitely have made a mistake. But if the old ancestor stood on the side of the Violet Thunder sect, the old ancestor didn't make a mistake. Yi Tianhua didn't hide anything and spoke his thoughts in full detail. He laughed. After hearing Yi Tianhua's opinion, the Violet Thunder ancestor suddenly laughed. His laughter was filled with helplessness, guilt, and even more helplessness. Right or wrong, I've let Brother Long down. I feel guilty, I feel guilty. Looking at the face of the Violet Thunder ancestor that was filled with guilt, Yi Tianhua sighed deeply in his heart and didn't say anything more. Chapter 1684. Longao openly left the Purple Thunder sect. In an instant. The news of Longao leaving the Purple Thunder sect had spread across the entire Tianwu continent. Because of Genling's Yuan spirit, the current Longao could be said to be closely watched. Any slight movement would be spread out. Just as Longao had guessed. All the experts in the world only wanted Genling's Yuan spirit, treasures, and martial skills. As for the Purple Thunder sect, unless the Purple Thunder Master personally made a move, no one would be so bored to deal with the Purple Thunder sect for no reason. As for the Wan Shou sect and the Martial Artists Alliance. With the previous example, if they wanted to make a move, they would have to think twice. This was not to say that the two superpowers were afraid of the Purple Thunder sect, but the one they were truly afraid of was Longao's corpse slave army. No matter how powerful the Purple Thunder sect was, it was still impossible for them to fight against two superpowers alone. Their whereabouts were constantly being tracked. Everyone in the surroundings was restless. As long as there was a chance, there would definitely be people coming out to snatch Genling's Yuan spirit, treasures, and martial skills. The shot hits the bird that pokes its head out. Longao was a variable. Whether it was the battle at the Sword Sect or the battle at the Phoenix Peak, in the end, Longao had left without a hitch. Not only that. Every time they surrounded Longao, it would be a complete mess, with countless casualties. Because of this, no one was willing to be the bird that sticks its head out. Wouldn't it be better to watch the fire from the other side and reap the benefits of the fisherman? Since then. After Longao left the Purple Thunder sect, his whereabouts were clearly exposed, but no one made a move. This made Longao extremely depressed. Since it was going to be a battle anyway, it was better to do it sooner rather than later. Azura Palace. The current Azura Palace was no longer the same as before. Although they had lost a Nirvana realm expert, it did not affect the Azura Palace's strength at all. With the addition of the two Nirvana realm experts from the Purple Flame sect, Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian, the Azura Palace now had a total of 7 Nirvana realm experts. What kind of concept was that? 7 Nirvana realm martial artists were sufficient to look down upon second-rate forces and dominate them. With the current strength of the Azura Palace, even if they were not as strong as the 10 Great Tripod, they were not far from it. After all, Xing Kuan's strength was enough to fight against 4 or 5 people. As the number 1 person under the Heavenly Tao, Xing Kuan's strength was above the myriad beasts' ancestors. If the Azura Palace was as easy to deal with as Xing Kuan, they wouldn't have remained unscathed. After all, 10,000 years ago, Xingqian had led the Azura Palace and wantonly massacred the entire continent. This was strength. This was a world where strength was respected. Without strength, even if you were killed, you could only obediently reincarnate, or even have your body and soul destroyed. On the contrary, if one had enough strength, such as Xingqian, the matter of 10,000 years ago would be as if it had never happened. Especially under such circumstances, it was simply a pipe dream for the 10 sides to join forces. Xingqian did not make a move. Stars dotted the night sky. The peak of a desolate mountain was engulfed by darkness, making it seem especially eerie and terrifying. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, a few wolf howls could be heard, adding to the eeriness of this silent night. Longao stood alone on the peak of the mountain, looking into the wind. After an unknown period of time, whoosh, 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 7 sounds of air breaking could be heard. Xingqian and the other 6 were already standing firmly behind Longao. Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian's faces were cold, their killing intent rising. They could not wait to kill Longao immediately. Around them, countless powerful people were watching in the dark, not daring to approach. At the end of the day, no one had full confidence. If they were to attack alone, they would attract Longao's killing intent. At that time, they would go for wool and come home shorn. Longao's corpse slave army was not to be underestimated. Even if the Martial Artists Alliance and the Myriad Beasts sect joined forces, they could not fight against it. One could only imagine how strong Longao's corpse slave army was. Bullying the weak and fearing the strong. If it was the Longao from a year ago, or even before the battle at Phoenix Peak, would the world still be so wary of him? Without a doubt, everyone would have attacked long ago. Why would they wait until now? They had been watching from the sidelines. This was the commonality of humans, and also the tragedy of human martial artists. Yi Wutian, you two are simply fabricating things to deal with me. Why must you drag the Violet Thunder sect down with you? No matter what, the two of you are still elders of the Violet Thunder sect. Others might be able to do such a thing, but the two of you cannot. T. Of course, the two of them were unwilling to admit that they were the ones who leaked the news, and they would not refute Longao's words. In their eyes, whether or not the Thunder Chiline was real, they had already achieved their goal. Even if the world did not believe in the Thunder Chiline, the Jianling Yuan spirit in Longao's body was enough to bring about a fatal disaster. This time, Longao had left the Purple Thunder sect. Although he had saved the sect, he had also harmed himself. From this perspective, Longao was a person worthy of respect. Longao, the grudge between us will never end until one of us is dead. We admit that we were in the wrong, but the Purple Thunder ancestor has always been biased towards you. For you, he didn't hesitate to kill our third brother. What's the point of us staying in such a sect? Coldly laughing, Longao didn't continue speaking. There was no point in talking to such people, it would only be a waste of saliva. Glancing at Xingqian, Longao suddenly laughed. Xingqian, 10,000 years ago, although you slaughtered countless lives and were killed by the people of the world, I still admire you because you did as you pleased. Even when facing the people of the world, you didn't fear them. Such courage is worthy of praise. Xingqian didn't say anything, his expression was one of indifference because he didn't know what Longao meant. This time, he came here with another purpose. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come here in the middle of the night to listen to the nonsense of this person in front of him. Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian, in order to deal with me, harmed their own sects. In that case, the two of you can repeat the same mistake. Speaking until here, Longao didn't continue, but the meaning in his words was very clear. As long as one wasn't an idiot, they would be able to understand. Both of them turned pale with fright. The two of them were very clear that Xingqian's starry sky was the most ruthless under the heavens. Otherwise, Xingqian wouldn't have led the Azura Palace and slaughtered countless lives in the world, not even sparing the ordinary people. If not, Xingqian wouldn't have met with such a calamity and died. Longao, don't even think of trying to sow discord. In fact, the Purple Thunder sect can be compared to the Master Xingqian. Ignoring everything else, just this point alone is enough to prove that the Master Xingqian wouldn't act against us for you. Does Xing Kuan believe that? Longao was indeed trying to sow discord. As long as Xing Kuan took action, even if Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian joined hands, they wouldn't be Xing Kuan's opponent. Chapter 1685. How could Xing Kuan not see that Longao was trying to drive a wedge between them? Xing Kuan was very curious. Longao clearly knew that it was useless to drive a wedge between them, so why did he still do it? Could it be that Longao was certain that he would succeed in driving a wedge between them and kill Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi? It was impossible to say that he didn't have such thoughts. Just as Longao had said, if Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi could betray the Purple Thunder sect, then they could also betray him. Keeping two such people by his side was not a good idea. But Xing Kuan was not stupid. He would not deal with Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi at this time. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Xing Kuan laughed maniacally. After laughing for a full minute, Xing Kuan gradually stopped. Longao, do you think your plot will succeed? Without giving Longao a chance to speak, Xing Kuan continued, Longao, I can tell you clearly that I will treat the two of them well, because a wise man submits to circumstances. It was a little funny. How could Longao not know what Xing Kuan was thinking? Perhaps Xing Kuan would not deal with the two of them now, but what about in the future? Longao was almost certain that in the future, Xing Kuan would definitely deal with Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi. It was just a matter of time. Longao knew, Xing Kuan knew, and so did Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi. Whether it was Xing Kuan or Yi Wutian, no one was willing to talk about this issue. Both sides had their own ulterior motives. Sowing discord had failed. It was not possible to kill with a borrowed knife at this time. Since it did not work, Longao did not continue. Instead, he asked, Xing Kuan, let's be frank. What are you here for this time? I don't believe that you are willing to be the one to stand out. Longao was very confident, and Xing Kuan was also a smart person. Smart people would only do smart things, not stupid things, especially things like this. He had another purpose. Xing Kuan smiled and said, Longao, I can't help but admire you. Your courage and talent can be called number one since ancient times. However, you don't know how to hide. If you hide and cultivate for 100 or 80 years, when your cultivation reaches the peak of nirvana rebirth, or even the starry sky realm, no one will be your opponent. Nonsense. Longao was speechless towards Xing Kuan. At a time like this, saying such words was like taking off one's pants to fart. It was unnecessary. Longao didn't say anything because he didn't want to waste his breath. Longao, you and I can be friends. I can even help the dragon sect become one of the 10 great sects. Grass. Hypocrite. Longao was almost certain that as long as he handed over Genling's primordial spirit, the first person to turn hostile would be Xing Kuan in front of him. Longao remained silent. As long as you hand over Genling's primordial spirit, I don't want anything else. As if afraid that Longao wouldn't believe him, Xing Kuan continued, I can immediately take a blood oath. Longao, what do you think? Behind Xing Kuan, Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi clenched their fists, and their killing intent soared. If it weren't for Longao's and Xing Kuan's strength, they would have already attacked. Xing Kuan, do you think I will believe you? A blood oath. A blood oath was bullsh*t, especially for someone like Xing Kuan. It made no difference whether he took a blood oath or not. Even if Xing Kuan didn't attack him, it didn't mean that he wouldn't attack him. Longao, you have no way out. In this big world, apart from the marvelous mathematician and the heavenly Tao, only I can save you. If I want to, you will probably die without a burial place. A threat. It was a blatant threat. However, Longao knew very well that Xing Kuan had the ability to threaten him. No matter what, Xing Kuan was the most powerful person under the heavenly Tao. His strength was there for all to see. Apart from the marvelous mathematician and the heavenly Tao, Xing Kuan was the strongest person on the continent. Xing Kuan, I can give you Genling's primordial spirit as long as you promise me one thing and take a blood oath not to attack me. What do you think? Say it. He was overjoyed because the temptation of Genling's primordial spirit was too great for Xingkuan to resist. Moreover, Xingkuan had already decided that no matter what the condition was, he would agree to it first. As for whether he would attack Longao or not, that was a matter for later. As long as his cultivation could break through Xingkuan's realm, Longao would be nothing to worry about. My condition is actually very simple. As long as you kill Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi now, and destroy the WN Shou sect, the Martial Artists Alliance, and the Long family, I can also take a blood oath here to hand over Genling's primordial spirit. What do you think? F***ck hearing Longao's words, Xingkuan was very angry and full of murderous intent, but he forced himself to suppress it. He couldn't be impulsive and couldn't be fooled. Otherwise, he would definitely be the one who stood out. As for Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian, their faces were extremely gloomy and unsightly. It would be unrealistic to say that they weren't afraid. If it were something else, the two of them would be full of confidence. With their strength, Xingkuan definitely wouldn't attack them easily. Only Genling's primordial spirit. For Genling's primordial spirit, not to mention Xingkuan, even if it were other people, they probably wouldn't be able to resist such a temptation. If Xingkuan really attacked them for Genling's primordial spirit, they wouldn't even have the chance to cry. Retreat. The two of them were ready at any time. As long as Xingkuan agreed, they would immediately escape no matter what happened. With their strength and speed, as long as they left the top of the mountain, it wouldn't be easy to find them in the vast sea of people. Now it was up to Xingkuan whether he would attack them or not. Xingkuan's anger was like a volcano that was about to erupt. It didn't mean that Xingkuan didn't want to let them go. Even if they were Nirvana realm warriors, they couldn't be compared with Genling's primordial spirit. If it was only this condition, Xingkuan wouldn't even think about it. He would directly kill them, get Genling's primordial spirit, and let Longao go. It would be a great success. But the result? Longao proposed such a condition to destroy the Martial Artists Alliance, the Long family, and the WAN Shou sect. It was completely impossible. Even if he was powerful and was known as the #1 person under the heavenly law, even infinitely close to the so-called Starry Sky realm, he was still not a Starry Sky warrior. How could he fight against 10,000 people alone? Once he had to deal with the Martial Artists Alliance, the Long family, and the WN Shou sect, he would definitely be doomed. He couldn't be so lucky every time. If the samsara failed, there would only be one result, which was to disappear. Chapter 1686. It was an almost impossible condition to fulfill. Longao was obviously making things difficult for him. In the end, Longao did not want to hand over Genling's primordial spirit at all. In fact, it made sense after thinking about it. If Longao had been willing to hand over Genling's primordial spirit, the battle on Phoenix Peak would not have happened. Thinking of this, Xingkuan's eyes gradually turned cold. Longao, you're courting death. Xingkuan, since you want Genling's primordial spirit, you should show some sincerity. It's not like I have nothing better to do. Why should I give it to you for no reason? Without waiting for Xingkuan to speak, Longao continued, sincerity, I only want sincerity. Destroying the 3 superpowers was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Xingkuan knew that unless his cultivation could break through the Starry Sky realm, it would be impossible. Master, as long as we kill this person, we have a way to get Genling's primordial spirit. Soul Search. Yes, Soul Search. Soul Search was the most vicious martial technique in the world. Soul Search was despised by the world. Xingkuan nodded. In order to get Genling's primordial spirit, he would not hesitate to use Soul Search. Not only him, he believed that no matter who it was, in order to obtain the primordial spirit of the Starry Sky Sword spirit, they would not hesitate to use Soul Search. You want to use Soul Search on me? Longao sneered because he was not afraid of Soul Search at all. He was full of confidence that the people in front of him could not kill him. Even Xingkuan, the #1 person under the heavenly Tao, could not do it. The calmer Longao appeared, the less confident Xingkuan was. There were not many opportunities. Once missed, it would not be so easy to continue to target Longao. Longao, hand over Jianling's primordial spirit and I will let you go. It was an ultimatum. Xingquan's patience had reached its limit. Being played by Longao again and again was like eating a fly. It was super disgusting. How could Longao not know what Xingquan was thinking? He didn't say anything else. In the next second, Longao's body suddenly disappeared and entered the dragon seal space. Longao disappeared again. Xingquan was originally full of confidence. After all, he had brought a total of 6 Nirvana realm martial artists with him this time. Even if he didn't interfere with the spatial fluctuations, he believed that Longao wouldn't be able to leave. And the result? His face was unusually gloomy. At this time, Yi Wutian whispered, "Master, although Longao's spatial device is powerful, Longao can't use it to leave. According to my guess, if nothing unexpected happens, Longao is still here." Xingquan nodded in agreement. "The 7 of us will work together to seal this place. I don't believe that Longao can escape." In the following time, Xingquan and the others began to lay down the seal. Even Longao would find it difficult to break the seal of 7 Nirvana realm martial artists. All around. Just as Xingquan and the others had guessed, although no one showed up, many experts were hiding around. In the dark night, pairs of cold eyes stared at the desolate mountain in front of them. No one was willing to stand out. Everyone was waiting. Since Xingquan had taken action, all the experts around were looking forward to it. As long as Xingquan could successfully kill Longao and obtain Jianling's primordial spirit, then they could continue to attack. No one wanted to provoke Longao. In everyone's view, it was easier to deal with Xingquan than Longao. It was ridiculous to think about it. Longao had just broken through to the Nirvana realm. Even if he reached the oneness of heaven and man realm, he could only be compared to Xingquan. In any case, Xingquan was a genuine Nirvana rebirth expert and was known as the #1 person under Tian Dao. Strictly speaking, he should be the #1 person under Starry Sky Cultivators. But Tian Dao was only a level 8 Starry Sky Cultivator. Inside the Dragon Seal space, Longao was depressed. He never thought that Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi would choose to submit to the Azura Palace. In this way, it would not be easy for him to kill the 2 of them. Xingquan. Longao did not leave the Dragon Seal space because he could sense that Xingquan and the others had not left. As long as he went out, he would definitely be attacked. 1 against 7, even with the help of the reincarnation doppelganger, Long Qiong, and Long Ming, he was no match for the 7 of them. Without Xingquan, Longao would not be afraid even if he had to fight to the death against 6 of them. Xingquan was very strong. Even if he had to fight against 3 of them, he would still be able to stand firm. As Longao's strength broke through, Long Qiong and Long Ming also broke through with Longao. The cultivation of the 2 divine beasts had successfully broken through to the oneness of heaven and man realm. If they did not use their killing moves, Long Qiong and Long Ming would probably be stronger than Longao in terms of strength alone. In other words, not counting the Nirvana realm cultivators of the Dragon sect, Longao alone had 4 Nirvana realm cultivators. 1 was Longao himself, 1 was his reincarnation doppelganger, 1 was Long Qiong, and 1 was Long Ming. The 4 of them were all oneness of heaven and man experts. With the 4 of them working together, it would not be a problem for them to kill Zhu Qianfengliu. However, if they were to encounter a Nirvana realm cultivator or a Nirvana rebirth realm cultivator, Longao would not be able to do it. Killing Zhu Qianfengliu was already an incredible feat out to sea. Inside the Crystal Palace, Master God Diviner's clone sat there quietly. Suddenly, his eyes snapped open, and an unsightly expression could be seen on his face. Someone actually found a weak spatial sealing mark. My true self isn't here, so if I break it, the consequences would be too horrible to contemplate. Thinking of that, the divine mathematician's doppelganger vanished from the Crystal Palace. 1 step. With just 1 step, the divine mathematician's doppelganger entered the weak spatial seal. Without the slightest hesitation, he began to reinforce the seal. As long as his true body could return, then even if the seal was broken, his true body would be able to reseal it in the shortest time possible. The situation was very dangerous. Although the divine mathematician's cultivation base had reached the starry sky domain emperor level, his doppelganger was only a 9th rank cultivator. Even so, his doppelganger was enough to dominate the entire martial heaven continent. Even in the starry sky, the divine mathematician's doppelganger was still an extremely powerful existence. As long as he didn't run into a starry sky domain emperor or a starry sky domain lord, he could do whatever he wanted. The divine mathematician's doppelganger reinforced the seal for a while. He felt that with his current strength, he was unable to move the seal. If that was the case, then as long as his opponent continued to attack, the seal would break. In the end, the divine mathematician's doppelganger had no choice but to self-detonate, using all his power to transform the seal. That way, the seal would move, and it would be impossible for his opponent to find a new one. The divine mathematician naturally knew that his doppelganger had disappeared. However, he was currently in the starry sky and could not rush back. Chapter 1687. It had to be said that the divine mathematician was really powerful. Not to mention his true body, just his clone had the strength of a 9th level starry sky cultivator. With the seal removed, the Tianwu continent was temporarily out of danger. On a desolate mountain peak, Longao had been in the dragon seal space and had not left. As for Xingkuan and the others, they had not left after setting up the seal. The two sides were in a stalemate. Now, it was a competition to see who had more patience. The night was dark. At this moment, a figure suddenly descended on the mountain peak. Purple thunder? Looking at the purple thunder ancestor who suddenly appeared in front of him, Xingkuan's face instantly sank because he had already guessed why the purple thunder ancestor had come here. Purple thunder, do you insist on being the enemy of the world? Ha ha ha, the world? Can you represent the world? What a joke, it's simply a big joke. The purple thunder ancestor sneered. His laughter was full of ridicule, contempt, and even more disdain. Xingkuan and the purple thunder ancestor's cultivation had reached the so-called nirvana rebirth realm. The only difference was Xingkuan's strength was above the purple thunder ancestor's, but even so, it would not be easy for him to kill the purple thunder ancestor. This was a little different from the Black Heaven ancestor's situation. 10,000 years ago, the Black Heaven ancestor's strength was the weakest. Moreover, Tongzun and the Thousand Beasts ancestor had joined forces to kill him. Brother Purple Thunder, why do you have to do this? Looking at the sudden appearance of the Purple Thunder ancestor, Longao was very surprised, but more than that, he was touched. He had never thought that the Purple Thunder ancestor would appear at this time, because except for Xingkuan and the others, the surrounding experts had not left. The Purple Thunder ancestor's appearance had already shown his attitude, so the Purple Thunder ancestor's situation was a little troublesome. Once a brother, we'll be brothers for life. Nodding heavily, Longao did not say anything more. Once a brother, we'll be brothers for life. Purple Thunder, you dare to offend the world, I can tell you that you will regret it. Sneering, Purple Thunder ancestor ignored Xingkuan. In any case, this battle was unavoidable. Since that was the case, why should he continue to dawdle and speak more nonsense? You two are really good. Forefather. Being stared at by Purple Thunder ancestor, both Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi were terrified to the extreme. Even with Xingkuan in front of them, this fear still existed. No matter what, the old ancestor's strength was obvious. I am no longer your ancestor. This sentence clearly showed Purple Thunder ancestor's attitude. His face paled in an instant, and he quickly retreated. At this point, even if they were afraid, there was nothing they could do. Thinking of this, Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi stood firm again. Yi Wutian sneered and said, Zilei, don't blame us. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. Blame me? Purple Thunder ancestor's face was full of disdain. Betrayal was already shameless enough. Now, the two of them were pushing all the blame onto themselves. They were simply shameless to the extreme. Shameless beyond compare. Shameless to the point that it was disgusting. Longao's face was also full of mockery. Without the slightest care, Yi Wutian suddenly burst into laughter. His laughter was desolate and full of anger. Purple Thunder, the three of us loyally guarded the Purple Thunder sect for thousands of years. What did we get in return? The more he spoke, the angrier he became, the more unwilling he became. We worked hard to conquer the world for the Purple Thunder sect, but we didn't get what we deserved. Instead, for an outsider, a piece of trash, you killed my third brother. Purple Thunder, do you think you are worthy of us? Hearing this, the disdain and ridicule on Purple Thunder's face disappeared without a trace. Deeply sighing in his heart, Purple Thunder Ancestor knew that he had wronged the two of them. No matter what, as Yi Wutian had said, the three of them had done their best for the sect. But did he have a solution? Yi Wutian, stop it. Right and wrong have their own justice. Whether it was you or Big Brother Purple Thunder who was wrong, I believe you know better than anyone else. Longao was too lazy to continue listening. It was still the same words. This battle was unavoidable. Without Purple Thunder Ancestor's help, Longao didn't have the slightest confidence in defeating Xingquan's group of 7. Not to mention the other 6, just Xingquan's strength was like a giant mountain, firmly suppressing him. With Big Brother Purple Thunder's appearance, the situation had been completely reversed. In the current situation, Longao had full confidence that even if he couldn't defeat Xingquan's group of 7, he could still leave without a hitch. Big Brother Purple Thunder, can you give me 10 minutes? Purple Thunder Ancestor certainly knew the meaning of Longao's words. After thinking for a moment, he said with confidence, Brother Long, give me 10 minutes. Although he didn't know what Longao wanted to do, Purple Thunder Ancestor supported him unconditionally. Not to mention, even if his strength was not as good as Xingquan's, 10 minutes was more than enough. Not only him, but any Nirvana Rebirth martial artist, even those who had just stepped into Nirvana Rebirth, believed that they could delay for 10 minutes. With Purple Thunder Ancestor's promise, Longao suddenly had Long Qiong, Long Ming, and Samsara Doppelganger by his side. This was also Longao's strongest fighting force. 1 Nirvana Rebirth martial artist and 4 Oneness of Heaven martial artists. Feeling the terrifying strength of the 3 people beside Longao, Xingquan's group of 7 didn't look too good. They didn't want to be the first ones to stand out, but now they had to be the ones to stand out. Once the battle started, although Xingquan was confident that he could defeat Longao's group, he couldn't guarantee that he would be able to keep Longao here. If his side suffered losses, he wouldn't even have the chance to regret it. Old Ancestor, are we going to fight or not? As the Palace Master of the Azura Palace, Xingquan had more concerns than Xingquan. If there were any losses, it would be a huge blow to the Azura Palace. Xingquan didn't want to take the risk. Without Purple Thunder Ancestor, Xingquan would never give up. Even if there were countless experts around, he was still full of confidence. As long as he could get Genling's soul, he would immediately escape. With his strength and speed, as long as it wasn't the divine mathematician or the heavenly Tao, no one would be able to find him. Purple Thunder Ancestor's sudden appearance had completely disrupted his wishful thinking. If he met force with force, and failed to capture Longao, how could he face the Azura Palace? Xingquan was depressed to the extreme. Did he have to give up just like that? Unwillingness, 10,000 unwillingness filled his whole body. Chapter 1688. Fight. Or not? Xingquan was a little unwilling to give up like this. But what could he do? Countless people were waiting for him to make a move. With the addition of Purple Thunder Ancestor, the variables of this battle were really great. Xing and the others did not dare to say anything. The initiative to fight or not was in the hands of the Ancestor. They had no right to decide. Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi were waiting anxiously. In their hearts, they certainly hoped to fight, because only in this way could Longao and even Purple Thunder Ancestor fall. Things had come to this point. It was either you die or I die. They certainly hoped that Purple Thunder Ancestor would fall, not that they would have endless troubles in the future. Time went by little by little. Longao and Purple Thunder Ancestor did not take the initiative to attack, because they did not want to fight either. In the end, Longao, I'll let you go this time, but don't think that you'll be fine. Let's go. Xingkuan was the first to leave, followed by Xing. You too also want to leave? Hearing Purple Thunder Ancestor's words, both Yi Wutian and Yi Wudi's faces instantly darkened. Xingkuan had already left. If Purple Thunder Ancestor really wanted to deal with them, how could they deal with it? They were very self-aware. They were very clear that not to mention Longao, just Purple Thunder Ancestor alone, even if the two of them joined hands, they still wouldn't be able to withstand 10 moves from Purple Thunder Ancestor. This was the disparity. Just as the two of them were worried, Longao suddenly said, "Big brother Purple Thunder, leave the two of them to me." Longao told himself in his heart that the lives of these two people were his. Yi Wutian, Yi Wudi, I know you two want to kill me to avenge your brother. I'll give you a chance. I hope you won't fall so soon. I'll find you in person. You alone. Longao, we'll wait for you. They were very afraid of Purple Thunder Ancestor, but it did not mean that they were afraid of Longao. In their opinion, even if Longao had broken through the unity of heaven and man realm, he would not be a match for the two of them. This was because their cultivation had already successfully broken through the heaven multiplying cycle. The two of them did not continue to speak, turning around and leaving quickly. They were not sure if the Purple Thunder Ancestor and Longao would go back on their words. Looking at the disappearing figure, Longao snorted coldly. Longao didn't have the confidence to eliminate Nirvana and Nirvana Rebirth martial artists, but he didn't care about the multiplication of cycles. Longao was confident that he could kill a heavenly cycle multiplication martialist if he used all his strength, even if it was a heavenly cycle multiplication martialist. If not for this, Longao would not have let go of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Brother Long, cut the weeds and get rid of the roots to prevent future troubles. With regards to Big Brother Purple Thunder's intentions, how could Longao not understand? In Purple Thunder Ancestor's opinion, even if Longao was strong, it was a bit of a fool's dream to kill Yi Wutian and Yi Wutian by himself. With him here, especially under such circumstances, it was the best time to kill the two. Big Brother Purple Thunder, I have the confidence to kill the two of them. Leave this opportunity to me. Staring at the young man in front of him, Purple Thunder Ancestor sighed deeply. Since Brother Long had said so, what else could he say? Brother Long, although Xingkuan has left this time, I believe that he will definitely not give up, especially since there are Nirvana realm powerhouses everywhere. As long as Genling's primordial spirit is in your body, they will not let you go. Thinking of this, Longao's face turned solemn. It was true that one wrong step led to many wrong steps. He thought that Myriad Beast's ancestor would certainly not reveal this matter, but he never thought that Myriad Beast's ancestor would not hesitate to reveal this matter in order to deal with him. Facing the world's powerhouses, it would be unrealistic to say that he was not afraid. Big Brother Purple Thunder, I don't want to implicate you. Brother Long, I've already said that once we're brothers, we'll be brothers for life. If you continue to say such words, then our brotherhood ends here. In the future, you will walk your own path, and I will walk my own path. Since Purple Thunder Ancestor had already said so, what else could Longao say? Big Brother Purple Thunder, what are you going to do now? It was precisely because of this brotherhood that Longao did not want to implicate Purple Thunder Ancestor. Purple Thunder Ancestor knew what Longao meant. He said helplessly, Brother Long, I have a suggestion. Why don't you listen to it? Big Brother Purple Thunder, please say it. Brother Long, I believe you should be very clear about the current situation. If you continue to stay here, there will only be one result. Not only you, but even your wife will not be able to escape. Longao was not angry because he knew very well that if it were not for their good relationship, Purple Thunder Ancestor would not have said this. If they did not have a good relationship, as soon as they said such words, they would immediately become hostile. In serious cases, they might even meet on the battlefield. Brother Long, it would be better for you to hide for now. Wait until your cultivation base breaks through to the Nirvana Rebirth realm, or even the Starry Sky realm. At that time, No one on the martial heaven continent will dare to have any thoughts of betrayal. Hide. Could he hide? Longao was very helpless. He was very clear that even if he was willing to temporarily withdraw from Jianghu, the surrounding experts would not let him off so easily. He didn't care about it, but what about his family? Thinking of that, Longao said firmly, "Big brother Purple Thunder, there is no place for me in this world. However, I've already decided that no matter who it is, anyone who wants to take my wife will be killed without mercy. If one comes, I'll kill one. If two come, I'll kill two." Purple Thunder Ancestor was very clear about Longao's character. As long as Longao decided on something, it would not change under normal circumstances. Even if he tried to persuade him, it would be useless. Big brother Purple Thunder, after this matter, I'll be even more careful. With the help of spatial teleportation, after a few teleportations, Longao's figure had already disappeared without a trace. He had to admit that with the rapid breakthrough of his cultivation, the power of Longao's spatial teleportation had also greatly increased. Looking at Longao's departing figure, Purple Thunder Ancestor sighed. He was very clear that the biggest reason Longao had been so impatient to leave was because he didn't want to implicate him. If he continued to chase after him, it would make things difficult for Longao. The battle at the peak of the barren mountain was on the verge of breaking out at any moment. Everyone was watching the fire from the other side of the river. It would be best if Longao and Xingkuan were both injured. At that time, they would be able to sit back and reap the benefits. But the result? Longao and Xingkuan were already on the verge of a great battle, but in the end, they did not fight. This caused everyone around them to be extremely depressed. They cursed fiercely in their hearts. However, things had already happened. Everyone could only quietly follow them. No one continued to be the first to stand out. Chapter 1689. Longao's speed was extremely fast. Especially with the help of spatial teleportation, he left everyone behind, including hundreds of Nirvana Realm warriors. He quietly returned to the Dragon Sect. Although Longao was not around, the Dragon Sect did not stop developing. Under the leadership of Liu Li and Yun Luoshan, the Dragon Sect had become the strongest among the second-rated forces. As for the Azura Palace, the Tianwu continent was a tripod. With the destruction of the Black Heaven Sect, the 10 tripod had become the 9 tripod. After one was destroyed, another would take its place. The replacement of the Black Heaven Sect was none other than the strongest second-rated force, the Azura Palace. In other words, the current Azura Palace was no longer a so-called second-rate power. Instead, it was one of the 10 great tripods, one of the 10 great tripods. If it was any other sect, no one would be convinced. Only the Azura Palace. With Xingkuan in charge of the Azura Palace, who in the Tianwu continent would dare to disobey? The 10 tripod. With the destruction of the Black Heaven Sect, the 10 tripod was now divided into the Long Family, Alchemy Guild, Martial Artists Alliance, WN Show Sect, Heaven and Earth Sect, 5 Elements Sect, Wanzhan School, Sword Sect, Purple Thunder Sect, and Azura Palace. As soon as he stepped into the Dragon Sect, Yun Luoshan immediately reported, "Master, I just received news that with the destruction of the Black Heaven Sect, the Azura Palace has become one of the 10 tripod." He was not surprised at all. Longao had already guessed that Xingkuan was not someone who was willing to be ordinary. With the destruction of the Black Heaven Sect, if Xingkuan still did not take action, then he would not be Xingkuan. It was just that what Longao never thought was that Xingkuan's speed was so fast. It seemed that the others had already acknowledged the Azura Palace's position. Unbelievable. A time of turmoil was a time of turmoil. It could not be compared to a normal time. Longao could almost say that if this was in the past, would the other 9 superforces agree? There was no doubt about it. No one was willing to provoke the Azura Palace, because everyone knew that if they were to fight one-on-one, no one would be Xingkuan's opponent. Even if they were able to defeat the Azura Palace in the end, they would suffer great losses. Losing 1,000 to the enemy and losing 800 to themselves, who would be willing to try such a result? If the 9 superpowers were to join forces, destroying the Azura Palace would be a piece of cake. However, would the 9 superpowers work together in such a chaotic time? It was precisely because of this that the Azura Palace became one of the 10 great sects. Everything went smoothly without any opposition. Seeing that the master didn't say anything, Yunluotian and the other two looked at each other and saw a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. What happened to Master? Since the Azura Palace has already become one of the 10 great powers, we can now claim the title of the second-tier power. Master, forgive me for being blunt. Please. Longao was well aware of their abilities. Although he was the master of the dragon sect, he was not in the sect most of the time. He still had to rely on the 3 of them for everything. In such a short period of time, the 3 of them were able to lead the sect to such a level. This in itself spoke volumes of their talents. The 3 of them were able to achieve this not only because of their talents, but also because of the army of 300,000 corpse slaves. This was not something to be trifled with. Not to mention a second-tier power, even if it were one of the 10 great sects, no one would be willing to face the army of corpse slaves. Thinking back to the time when the Martial Artists Alliance and the WN Show sect joined forces, they still couldn't fight against the army of 200,000 corpse slaves. Master, since the battle at the Phoenix Peak, the news of you and your wife has spread across the world. If we continue to expand, I'm afraid it will backfire. What do you mean? Master, if it was something else, it might not be a problem. However, I believe that Master knows how tempting the starry sky primordial spirit is. Even if it's a chaotic time, once these people get jealous, I'm afraid that they will join forces to deal with us. So that's how it is. If Yunluotian didn't mention it, Longao wouldn't have cared. Now that he thought about it, if all the sects joined forces to deal with him, even if he had 3 heads and 6 arms, it would be difficult for him to resist. As the saying goes, 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. Elder Yun, do you have a plan? Yes. This time, it wasn't Yunluotian who spoke, but Yun Feng. As for Yun Feng, Longao admired him a lot. He was careless, rough but meticulous. Although he was reckless sometimes, it didn't matter. Let's hear it. Of course, Yun Feng could feel that this master valued him very much. Otherwise, he wouldn't have interrupted him just now. Yunluotian smiled and didn't take it to heart. Master, now everyone is eyeing you covetously. In the end, it's because we are not strong enough. If we can deter everyone, who would dare to covet you? Longao was certainly clear about this problem, but knowing it was one thing and finding a way to deal with it was another. After all, strength wasn't something that could be achieved by talking. The only way to deter the world was if the dragon sect had starry sky martial artists. However, it wouldn't be easy for his elder brother and grandfather to integrate the starry sky inheritance. It would take at least 3 years. As for how long it would take, no one knew. In addition to starry sky martial artists, there was another thing, which was Nirvana martial artists, especially Nirvana rebirth martial artists. No matter which one it was a little unrealistic with the current strength of the dragon sect. Longao didn't say anything, but the expression on his face had already explained his attitude. Yun Feng continued, Master, I wonder if you've heard of the Massacre Abyss? Massacre Abyss? Damn, of course he had heard of it. Not only had he heard of it, he had even gone there personally. Especially the 5 Abyss Masters, who had chosen to submit to him, and were also unwilling to follow him. Until now, he still couldn't figure out why no one wanted to follow him. Could it be that they had nothing to do and were bored? Longao didn't hide anything, because in his heart, he really did treat the 3 of them as his own people. Therefore, Longao roughly told them about his trip to the Massacre Abyss, and how the 5 Abyss Masters had chosen to submit to him, but were unwilling to follow him. After listening, the 5 of them sighed. They never thought that their master had actually gone to the Massacre Abyss, and that such a thing had happened. It should be known that their master was only a divine way martial artist back then, but he was able to have such achievements. If they hadn't heard it with their own ears, it would have been a little hard to believe. Master, in this case, we don't need to dawdle this time. We can directly suppress the 5 of them with our strength. According to the information I received, the 5 Abyss Masters are all comprehending the heaven and earth. Not to mention others, I alone am enough to suppress the 5 of them. Master, please believe me. Chapter 1690. Comprehending heaven and earth was not on the same level as becoming one with the world. Yunluotian's cultivation base had already broken through becoming one with the world, which was why he had so much confidence. Longao shook his head. Master, you don't believe me? Yunluotian was not the only one who was surprised. Even Yunfeng and Azurite were surprised. Even if the 5 Lords of the Abyss joined forces, they might not be a match for Yunluotian. No. If not, then what? Yunluotian could not figure it out, and neither could Yunfeng and Azurite because the master's behavior had already made his attitude clear. He thought that Yunluotian was no match for the 5 Lords of the Abyss. Elder Yun, the 5 Lords of the Abyss are not as simple as they seem. Master, what do you mean? Yunluotian and the other 2 were not fools. They knew very well that since the master said so, there must be something fishy going on. What kind of trick was this? Elder Yun, according to my guess and my previous dealings with the 5 of them, I can almost say that 4 of the 5 Lords of the Abyss have reached cycle multiplication, and 1 has reached Nirvana stage. Hearing those words, the 3 of them were shocked. That was because the 3 of them did not have the slightest bit of doubt towards the words of their sect master. It was because of this that the 3 of them never thought that the 5 Lords of the Abyss were hiding something. There were 5 Lords of the Abyss in the Massacre Abyss. They were Hong Lingtong, the Lord of the East and the only Nirvana stage martial artist among the 5 Lords of the Abyss, Luo Qingfeng, the Lord of the West, Yang Ling, the Lord of the South, Guo Li, the Lord of the North, and Yi Chen, the Lord of the Middle. Apart from Hong Lingtong, the other 4 Lords of the Abyss were all cycle multiplication martial artists. It was really troublesome to rely on one's own strength to subdue the 5 Lords of the Abyss. The 3 of them did not continue to say anything. They knew very well that if it was really as the master said, that the 5 Lords of the Massacre Abyss were all cycle multiplication martial artists and one of them had reached Nirvana stage, then the 3 of them alone would not be enough. Not to mention them, even a Nirvana stage martial artist might not be able to deal with the 5 of them. Leader, you've said before that the 5 Lords of the Abyss chose to submit to you for no reason at all. Why? He shook his head. Until now, Longao still had not figured out what exactly happened back then. Why did the 5 Lords choose to submit to him? Longao could clearly sense that the 5 of them did not choose to submit to him willingly. Seemed to have been threatened. But what was the reason? The master. If the master lord. Tell me. Longao also wanted to hear Liu Li's analysis because he really wanted to know what had happened. Liu Li thought for a moment and said, Sect Master, according to my guess, the most likely reason why the 5 Lords of the Abyss chose to submit to you is that there's a mysterious expert behind them, and they were forced to submit to you. However, it's obvious that they weren't sincere. Longao had already thought of Liu Li's analysis. The most likely reason was that the 5 Lords of the Abyss had a terrifying and mysterious expert behind them. To be able to make the 5 Lords of the Abyss obey him, the strength of this mysterious expert was imaginable. At the very least, he was a so-called Nirvana stage martial artist. He couldn't be a Starry Sky martial artist. Why would the mysterious expert help him? Longao was certain that the mysterious expert was nowhere to be found. Otherwise, why would the 5 Lords of the Abyss choose to submit to him and not listen to him? Things were really troublesome. What you said is also what I think. If we can get the help of the 5 Lords of the Abyss, then the situation will be reversed. Let's not talk about the Dragon Valley for now. Just the current Dragon sect alone, including Longao, Reincarnation Avatar, Long Qiong, and Long Ming, had a total of 7 Nirvana stage martial artists. Even if this strength was placed in a second-rate force, it was still an existence that could dominate. However, it would be a little difficult to fight against the 10-direction tripod. However, if the 5 Lords of the Abyss were added, then the situation would be completely different. Yunluotian and the other 2 left quietly, leaving Longao alone in the Great Hall. No one knew what he was thinking. The massacre abyss. Yunluotian was right. With the current strength of the dragon sect, it was more than enough to dominate second-rate forces. However, if they wanted to enter a first-rate force, this strength was still a little insufficient. If they could completely subdue the 5 lords of the massacre abyss, then the strength of the sect would immediately rise to a new level. What should they do? After thinking about it, Longao decided to go to the massacre abyss. This time, no matter what happened, they had to deal with the 5 lords of the abyss. This time, Longao did not go to the massacre abyss alone. Instead, he brought 3 people, Yunluotian, Yunfeng, and Liu Li. As for the dragon sect, it was temporarily under the charge of several protectors. After they left, the dragon sect would focus on defense. The massacre abyss was dominated by 5 lords of the abyss. They were the East Lord of the Abyss, Hong Lingtong, the West Lord of the Abyss, Luo Qingfeng, the South Lord of the Abyss, Yang Ling, the North Lord of the Abyss, Guo Li, and the Middle Lord of the Abyss, Yi Chen. Among them, Hong Lingtong, the East Lord of the Abyss, was a Nirvana martial artist. As for the other 4 Lords of the Abyss, they were all oneness of heaven and man martial artists. With such strength, even if they were not as strong as the 10-direction tripod, they were not to be trifled with. This was the massacre abyss. For a long time, the massacre abyss had been dominated by the 5 lords of the abyss. However, the real master behind the scenes was not the 5 lords of the abyss, but Longao's ancestor, Long Batian, the so-called Starry Sky Cultivator. Longao still did not know about this matter. If he knew, he believed that Longao would be able to guess why the 5 lords of the abyss would suddenly choose him for no reason, but they were unwilling. After entering the massacre abyss, Longao did not hesitate in the slightest and immediately summoned the 5 lords of the abyss. Without beating around the bush, he said directly, "The 5 of you, I have only one purpose in coming here this time, and that is to completely end the massacre abyss. You will follow me to conquer the world. As for your identity, from now on, you will be elders of the dragon sect. What do you think?" The 5 of them sneered in their hearts and did not take it seriously at all. It was not the first time Longao had come here, and the 5 of them had long been accustomed to it. Hong Lingtong said with a smile, "Longao, forgive us for being unable to help you with this matter." Chapter 1691. They were powerless. Hearing the 5's open refusal, Yunluotian and the other 2's expressions instantly darkened. Would they care? Without a doubt, the 5 didn't care about them at all. They didn't even care about Longao. If the 5 abyss masters of the slaughter abyss really chose to submit to Longao, what face would they have left? If Long Tianba hadn't left, would the 5 of them dare to do this? "What if I defeat you?" Longao wasn't surprised by the 5's refusal. It would be strange if the 5 of them agreed. Longao was also very curious as to why the 5 of them were so stubborn and unwilling to submit to him. "Longao, if you can defeat the 5 of us, we will immediately submit. From now on, we will never be disloyal." Before, the 5 of them had called him master, but now they didn't even call him master. They directly called him Longao. In the eyes of the 5 of them, they had never trusted Longao. Even if Longao had broken through to the Nirvana realm, he was still trash in their hearts. If Longao could defeat the 5 of them, they would choose to submit. "Longao, if you don't have confidence, you can add in the 3 of them." When he said those words, Hong Lingtong's face, including the faces of the other 4 people, was filled with disdain at the same time. There was even more disdain and ridicule. The 5 of them could clearly sense that of the 3 people Longao had brought, 2 had comprehended the heavens and earth, and 1 had comprehended the heavens and man unity. In front of the 5 of them, the 3 of them couldn't even block 3 moves. This was the difference in strength. In the Nirvana realm, every step was like ascending to the heavens. "Follow me." Looking at the confident Longao, the 5 of them looked at each other, seeming to see a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. The more confident Longao was, the less confident the 5 of them felt. Could it be that Longao had come prepared? "There's no need to worry. You and I both know Longao's situation very well. Let's wait for the 5 of us to join forces. Don't fight alone. I don't believe that Longao can defeat us. If that's the case, we'll just choose to surrender. Previously, the 5 Abyss Masters had been fighting openly and secretly. They were like water and fire, but now that Longao had joined them, the 5 of them had joined hands. Furthermore, given the current situation, the Martial Heaven continent was in chaos. The 5 of them knew that if they didn't join hands now, who knew if they would be destroyed? The 5 of them followed closely behind. As for Liu Li and the other 2, their faces were filled with helplessness. They were very clear about their master's character. Once he had decided on something, it was very difficult to change his mind under normal circumstances. I hope that master can win. If that's the case, we will have 5 more Nirvana realm cultivators, which will be very beneficial to our current situation. Can master win? Yun Luoshan and Yun Feng were skeptical. If they were at the same level, they would have 100% confidence in their master. But now, the 5 of them were genuine heavenly cycle cultivators, and one of them was even a Nirvana realm martial artist. It would be strange if their master could win. Of the 3 of them, only Liu Li didn't say anything. She had chosen to believe in their master from the beginning. In her eyes, Longao was a smart person. If he wasn't completely confident, would his master agree so easily? The desolate surroundings were filled with a desolate aura. Longao, you only have one chance. If you lose this time, I hope that you will never step into the slaughter abyss again. The 5 of them were clearly a bit irritated. That was because Longao had come again and again. Even if Longao wasn't annoyed, they still couldn't bear it. However, they still didn't dare to kill Longao. The reason was very simple. It was because of the mysterious expert behind him. Although they didn't know what the relationship between the black-robed expert and Longao was, the 5 of them were certain that their relationship wasn't simple. It would be easy to kill Longao, but it wouldn't be worth it if they got themselves killed in the process. This battle forced Longao to retreat in the face of difficulties. If he never entered the slaughter abyss again, that would be for the best. Longao agreed readily. In an instant, the 2 of them had already made a bet. If Longao lost this battle, he would never step into the slaughter abyss again. If the 5 Abyss Lords lost, they would choose to submit to Longao. Neither side wanted to lose this battle. They couldn't lose. They couldn't afford to lose. Master, we'll help you. Longao waved his hand and said confidently, the 3 of you can just watch the battle. I want them to lose wholeheartedly. Lose wholeheartedly? The 5 of them snorted coldly and didn't say anything. However, the expression on their faces had already determined their attitude. Not to mention 1 against 5, even if it was a one-on-one situation, Longao couldn't possibly be a match for the 5 of them. It was simply a joke. Longao, cut the crap. Let's begin. Nodding, Longao's body suddenly erupted with a terrifying fighting spirit that swept across the world. Liu Li and the other 2 looked at each other. They had no choice but to withdraw from the battlefield and stand aside to watch the battle. However, the 3 of them had already thought it through. If the master's life was in danger, the 3 of them would never just stand by and watch. What a powerful fighting spirit! Feeling the terrifying battle intent that suddenly erupted from Longao's body, the 5 of them were a little surprised. But very quickly, the 5 of them calmed down. No matter how terrifying the battle intent that erupted from Longao was, so what? In the end, Longao was only at the union of man and nature. His strength couldn't compare to any of the 5 of them. This was the confidence that came with strength. A cultivator at the union of man and nature wasn't even worth a fart in their eyes. Longao knew very well that if he used the strength of Long Qiong, Long Ming, and the reincarnation avatar, it wasn't impossible to kill Zhu Tianxian. After all, the reincarnation avatar alone was enough to contend with Zhu Tianxian. This didn't mean that the reincarnation avatar's cultivation had broken through Zhu Tianxian's cultivation. It was because the reincarnation avatar's defensive power was too terrifying. It was fine to hit it 100 times, But if the reincarnation avatar hit you once, you wouldn't be able to withstand it. The reincarnation avatar's strength couldn't be estimated by ordinary people. However, Hong Lingtong was a genuine Nirvana realm cultivator. Even the reincarnation avatar couldn't defeat Hong Lingtong. The biggest reason why Longao accepted the challenge was that he wanted to completely subdue the 5 of them. Under such circumstances, the 5 of them were too important to the sect. Longao's biggest reliance wasn't the reincarnation avatar, but Long Fu. Strictly speaking, it should be the dragon seal. According to Long Fu, as the dragon seal continued to recover, it could now lend a small amount of power to the 4 of them. Moreover, it was a very terrifying power. This power had previously sealed the blood pool. One could imagine how terrifying this power was. It was precisely because of this that Longao dared to accept the challenge. Otherwise, he definitely wouldn't have casually accepted the challenge. If he lost, he wouldn't be able to step into the massacre abyss from now on. Then, subduing the 5 of them would simply be a pipe dream. Fight. Taking the initiative to attack, Longao took a big stride forward. Halfway through, Long Qiong, Long Ming, and the reincarnation avatar all appeared. This time, they wanted to obtain a complete victory. Therefore, Long Qiong and Long Ming directly revealed their true forms because the strength of a divine beast's true form was stronger. Longao and the reincarnation avatar fought Hong Lingtong 2 against 1. As for Long Qiong and Long Ming, they only had one task, and that was to entangle the 4 of them. Even if Long Qiong and Long Ming couldn't defeat the 4 of them, it was more than enough for them to entangle the 4 of them. Longao's intention was very simple. First, they had to deal with Hong Lingtong as fast as possible. The remaining 4 of them would be easy to deal with. Longao obtained the power of the dragon seal and attacked continuously, not giving Hong Lingtong any chance to react. In the end, Hong Lingtong was too careless. If he went all out from the beginning, even if Longao used the power of the dragon seal, it wouldn't be easy to defeat him. As for who would win and who would lose, it was still unknown. However, humans were like this. When they saw someone who was weaker than them, it was natural for them to be careless. Especially when there was a gap of 2 levels between them. In Hong Lingtong's opinion, even he could easily deal with Longao. This thought directly reversed the situation of the battle. Longao and the reincarnation avatar teamed up. The reincarnation avatar didn't seem to be afraid of death. He directly ignored the attacks of the reincarnation avatar. In this way, Hong Lingtong was forced to retreat step by step. The opportunity had come. The reincarnation heavenly eye opened. The reincarnation heavenly eye on Longao's forehead directly opened. A terrifying power came out and directly shrouded Hong Lingtong. It was as if he had fallen into a quagmire. Only at this moment did Hong Lingtong truly react. Although Longao's realm wasn't as good as his true strength was very terrifying. It was unbelievable that he could even suppress him. The Nirvana Fate Tribulation was always the Nirvana Fate Tribulation. The power of the Yuan spirit would naturally come out. If a cultivator was attacked by Longao's reincarnation heavenly eye, they would most likely die. However, Hong Lingtong managed to withstand it. One had to admit that Hong Lingtong's strength was really powerful. Yuan spirit attack. Reincarnation heavenly eye attack. The 2 forces collided with each other. Longao's body directly flew out backward. Although Hong Lingtong barely managed to knock down Longao, the Samsara heavenly eye was seriously too powerful. Even if it was him, he also similarly forcefully took 3 steps back. Spatial teleportation. Ever since he cultivated the 9 revolutions reincarnation technique, the reincarnation avatar also had the ability to teleport. It directly appeared behind Hong Lingtong and punched his back. If it wasn't for Hong Lingtong's quick reaction, he believed that he would have died at this moment. Hong Lingtong couldn't believe that he had been forced to such a point. His eyes gradually turned cold because he had already decided to kill Longao. Even if there was a mysterious expert behind Longao, he didn't care anymore. He would kill Longao first. If he didn't remove the roots when cutting the grass, it would grow again when the spring breeze blew. Just as Longao had just stood up, His body was on the verge of collapsing. Just as Hong Ling Tong was about to make a move to kill him, a whirlwind came. In the blink of an eye, it had already arrived in front of Hong Ling Tong. Before Hong Ling Tong could react, a blood-curdling scream rang out. Hong Ling Tong's body had already fallen to the ground. As for his primordial spirit, it had already been devoured by someone. Chapter 1692. A blood-curdling scream rang out. Everyone was dumbfounded. What was going on? Longao's face was gloomy to the extreme when he saw the black-clothed man suddenly appear in front of him. He never imagined that the blood fiend would suddenly appear here. He had successfully injured Hong Ling Tong. As long as he worked hard, he could defeat Hong Ling Tong. A Nirvana realm cultivator was killed just like that, and even his soul was devoured. It would be unrealistic to say that he wasn't angry. Longao, long time no see. How have you been? The blood fiend didn't leave when he couldn't enter the Dragon Valley. In the end, he was still very afraid of the Dragon Seal. Otherwise, he wouldn't have kept chasing after Longao. Who are you? You killed Hong Ling Tong. Looking at Hong Ling Tong's corpse on the ground, the four Abyss Lords were terrified. Hong Ling Tong's strength was obvious. Was he also a Nirvana realm cultivator? They retreated again and again. No matter what, they had to leave first. You want to leave? How dare you? Longao was shocked when he saw the blood fiend dashing towards the four Abyss Lords. Although the blood fiend's true body was powerful, he had been sealed by the Dragon Seal for so many years. It wouldn't be easy for him to recover to his peak strength. Previously, the blood fiend was just a heavenly cycle multiplication. How could he be so bold as to attack the five Abyss Lords? Nirvana realm. Longao sensed that the blood fiend's strength had recovered from the heavenly cycle multiplication to the Nirvana realm. Even he didn't expect such a fast recovery. Longao directly used spatial teleportation because he found that the blood fiend's strength had not only recovered to the Nirvana realm, but his speed had also reached a terrifying state. After a few teleportations, Longao's speed finally surpassed the blood fiend's. But what was the result? It turned out that the Blood Devil had come to create a diversion. The real target was Long Qiong and Long Ming. Longao was shocked. Although the two little fellows were strong, the gap between them and the blood fiend was still huge. No matter what, nothing must happen to the two little fellows. Longao and the two little fellows were telepathically connected. With a stride, he appeared in front of the two little fellows. This is bad. Luring the tiger away from the mountain. The blood fiend had used a diversion before, and now he was luring the tiger away from the mountain. When Longao arrived in front of the two little fellows, Blood Demon's figure had already arrived in front of the four of them. He had a sneer on his face and a gloomy expression. A terrifying blood mist erupted from his body. Blood. One had to admit that the power of the blood mist was too terrifying. It directly covered the four of them. Was terrified, fear, worry, and even despair. The four of them could clearly sense how powerful the blood mist that enveloped them was. Not only were their bodies, and their souls. Right now, the four of them were completely meat on the display board, waiting to be slaughtered. Hearing those words, the four of them were very regretful. If they had known earlier, they would have chosen to submit to Longao. They wouldn't have ended up like this. Ha ha ha, let them go? The Blood Devil didn't care at all. He sneered and said, "The divine souls of these five people are very suitable for me. If I can devour their divine souls, my strength can quickly recover to Nirvana rebirth. Tell me, will I let the four of them go?" I see. Longao already knew that even if he didn't come this time, the blood fiend would come. With the blood fiend's current strength and the blood pool in his body, it would be a piece of cake for him to destroy the five Abyss Lords. Miscalculation. It was not a miscalculation. Because from the beginning to the end, Longao never thought that the blood fiend would choose the five Abyss Lords. "Master, please save us." The four Abyss Lords were terrified to the extreme, but Longao didn't say anything. Liu Li and the other two came to Longao's side. They didn't ask much, because they already knew from the conversation that the black-clothed expert who suddenly appeared was the master's enemy. As long as it was an enemy, it was useless to say anything. Longao, your speed of growth really surprises me, but your starting point is too low. Even if you're a cultivation genius, you can't be faster than my recovery speed. If my cultivation reaches the starry sky realm, do you think the Dragon Valley's seal can stop me? Gloomy and ugly. The Dragon Valley was Longao's bottom line. No one could touch it, not even the Blood Fiend. Long Fu had already said that the seal air shield set up by the Dragon Seal could barely stop the Blood Fiend. Once the Blood Fiend reached the starry sky realm, the seal air shield would lose its effect. By then, the Blood Fiend could easily enter the Dragon Valley. It was hard to imagine what it would be like to enter the Dragon Valley after the Blood Fiend's strength recovered to the starry sky realm. Who could defeat a starry sky expert? He didn't say anything, but the terrifying killing intent bursting out of Longao's body was enough to indicate his current mood. Kill. Only by killing the Blood Fiend could his family be rid of all future troubles. Thinking of this, Longao's eyes gradually turned cold. You want to kill me? That's right. Ha ha ha, with just you? Mockery and disdain were written all over his face because the Blood Fiend didn't take Longao seriously at all. If it weren't for the dragon seal in Longao's hand, the Blood Fiend believed that even if Longao was talented, the Blood Fiend wouldn't even look at him. Longao, I can tell you clearly that in this small plane, maybe your talent is not bad, and you can even be ranked first, but if you are placed in the entire vast starry sky, you are not even a fart. There were countless monsters in the vast starry sky. Longao, however, didn't seem to care. He smiled and said, Blood Fiend, do you think you can return to the vast starry sky? What do you mean? As if guessing something, the Blood Fiend's eyes suddenly emitted 2 rays of golden light. He said coldly, You already know? Impossible, that's impossible. Even Long Fu doesn't know about this, unless the dragon seal body shows up. He's already fallen. That's impossible. The Blood Fiend seemed to be a little crazy because he knew very well how serious it would be for Longao if he knew about this. Do you think that no one else in the world knows about this secret except for the dragon seal body? The Blood Fiend didn't say anything, but his face became more and more gloomy and unsightly. He had never expected that Longao would know about this. Blood Demon, although you've broken the seal and left, that item of yours is still in the dragon seal space. Although I'm unable to destroy it with my current strength, once my cultivation reaches a certain level, you can imagine that when I destroy that item, it will also be the time of your death. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.